Mahalo nui kako. Thank you guys for joining us for this evening's Waimānalo Neighborhood Board number 32 monthly meeting. Today is Monday, the 11th of May. We'll call the meeting into order at 7 p.m. Mahalo for joining us. We generally want to ensure that folks have the opportunity to sign in. So if you're in the participation room here, please sign in. We can have the sign-in sheet passed out around. It's really important for us to note who's participating and how, and so we really appreciate that. We're going to ask for someone to provide an opening pule or oli, a way for us to help open up our meeting. Do we have any participants that are willing to do so this evening? Anyone in person to open our meeting? Hearing none. Anyone online?
Sure, I'll open and pull.
Mahalo, Brenda. Thank you.
Yahuwah, we thank you for this time to meet tonight. We invite your presence, we invite your love, your wisdom, your unity. We thank you that you love Waimānalo, and we ask that you would lead us and guide us and provide for our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Mahalo nui. The purpose of the Waimānalo Neighborhood Board and the Neighborhood Board Plan is to ensure increase and ensure effective citizen participation in the decisions of government. Rules for engaging are very simple. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to click the raise hand icon if you're online. When you are recognized by the chair, to address your comments to the chair. Remarks should not exceed 3 minutes. Those that are participating in person will be the same, raising your hand and then being acknowledged, coming to the microphone and introducing yourself. Please ensure your microphone is muted. Unless you are speaking, you can mute and unmute for those dialing in on by phone by pressing *6. For all participants, please state your first and last name for the record before moving into your comment or question. Written testimony may also be submitted via email using the contact information listed at the NCO website, the Commission website. We're reminding folks that this board has adopted aloha as a function of our governance, and so akahai meaning kindness to be expressed with tenderness, lokahi meaning unity to be expressed with harmony, olu meaning agreeable to be expressed with pleasantness, ha'aha'a meaning humility to be expressed with modesty, and ahonui meaning patience to be expressed with perseverance, in accordance with Hawaii Revised Statutes, Chapter 75-7.5. The board may take action on any item on the agenda as required by the State Sunshine Law HRS 92. Specific issues not noted on this agenda cannot be voted on unless added to the agenda. 2/3 vote. 9 members of this 13-member board is needed to add an item to the agenda. Adding an item to the agenda, however, is not permitted if 1, the item to be added is of reasonably major importance, and 2, action of the item by this board will affect a significant number of persons. Determination of whether a specific matter may be added to an agenda must be done on a case-by-case basis. Reminder for all folks to please silence your electronic devices. This meeting is being recorded. And for members, when we do go to any conversations, discussions, or vote, your cameras online must be on. We remind folks of the exits here. We have an exit there, emergency exit, and then out this door to the left. Restrooms are also out the door on the right. And we are on a school campus, so to make sure that the actions and behaviors are aligned with that. With that being said, we're going to go into roll call. We're going to call Melissa, our neighborhood assistant, to go ahead and call the roll. Mahalo.
Thank you, Chair. Member Hoku Akana? Not here at the moment. Member Kukui Akana? Not here at the moment. Member Kanela Kamaloha Nuilai?
Here.
Thank you. Vice Chair Kamakea Ohelo?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Chair Connie?
Ew.
Thank you. Member Makaila?
Ew.
Thank you. Member McKeague? Not here at the moment. Member Milan? Not here at the moment. Member Mokulehua?
Ew.
Thank you. Member Nee? Not here at the moment. Member Ralston? Also not here. And Member Wong?
Here.
Chair, you only have 6 members present, no quorum.
Mahalo. Quorum is met at 7, so we'll move through the agenda, and as folks come who are on their way, we will update when quorum is reached. We're going to move on. Olalo No'ea of the month, number 20. We're reading from the Olalo No'ea book as a way of just kind of reinstilling some of the thoughts of kupuna in this place. And so we're taking number 20, Ahuvale Kanane Huna. The hidden answer to the riddle is seen. That which was a secret is no longer hidden. Ahuvale Kanane Huna. The hidden answer to the riddle is seen. That which was secret is no longer hidden. That is something we'll continue to look at as we go through our meetings. Thanks, Kanala. We're going to move on. We have a section here, Loheke Kupuna. We've crafted this space to make sure that if there are kupuna that wish to address Waimānalo and share, this was an opportunity to get their voice to document a memory or a story or something that we should remember as a community. And so we invite any kupuna who might be willing to offer tonight's message in a few minutes to kind of document something from this community. Any kupuna here with the opportunity this evening? Seeing and hearing none. Anyone online, kupuna online, who would like to offer this mana'o for the evening? Hearing none. Okay, we're going to continue to maintain that space as a way to invite kupuna to address the community and share. Again, it was a way for us to document and remember the voices of kupuna while we still have them. And so with that, I do want to ask that we take a quick moment of silence. We've lost some really important kupuna in Waimānalo recently. And so if we could just kind of honor that legacy, just a few seconds of silence would be really appreciated. Mahalo. Mahalo nui gang. There's no amount of time that we could ever invest in with regards to the loss of any life. And, we'll continue to honor those that continue to present in to the community at the appropriate time. So mahalo nui. We're going to invite at this time Kalola online to share a message, an a'o message this evening. Kalola, can you unmute and then camera on?
Mm-hmm.
Hola, mahalo.
Grabe. Belino mai o Flora Kawinoa.
Tracy, if you can turn on a light, olo olo. It's
No, that's not-
really dark.
Yeah. Where I'm at don't have no power right now.
Oh, okay. Hikino, go ahead.
So Belino mai o Kalola Kamahalo Hanuirai Kawino. O Limuli Pu'u. O Limuli Pu'u. Kaua o Kamakani. O Afuakia Kaua. O Kano. O Kano Huanui Kamauna. O ke kai olalo no eo or olalo a'o o hoi ia he ali ku makani au au he makani nana e kula iai ke kahi mana'o ko'i no u no ke olalo no eo o hoi mai ina ala pa'akiki mai ku wale mai hana a'o he mea he mau ala hiki ke ko a hiki ke mai ka iai kahua. Ke kahi la'ana oi ho'i maloko ko'u ola, oi ho'i ka wā ma ko'u hele ana i ke kula kaiapuni ua pa'akiki a ka a'ole wai I ku wale no ka paʻakiki ua hoʻomau a aiawa no aiawa ma ke kula kaiapuni. E ana o ke olelo na au he aʻaliʻi kumakani au. He aʻaliʻi kumakani au au he makani nana e kulaʻi ai. He mea nui noʻu. Mahalo nui no ka hoʻolohe ana mai.
Hola, mahalo kalola no ka no kou leo, e pili no kia halawai. Mahalo nui a oi. We're going to progress on with emergency providers and reports. We'll start with fire department, followed by HPD, police department. Thank you.
Good evening. Captain Dave Schubert, Waimānalo Fire Station. Start off with the incident statistics for last month. We had 32 medical calls, 1 structure fire, 3 brush fires, 2 activated alarms, 1 nuisance fire, and 1 motor vehicle collision. The fire safety tip for this month has to do with wildfire prevention and preparedness. Hawaii is entering a period of increased wildfire risk with dry conditions, tall grass, and shifting winds. 1 spark is all it takes. Most wildfires are human caused and preventable. Take action today with these tips. Clear dry brush and vegetation around your home. Never park in dry grass. Hot exhaust can ignite it. Avoid activities that create sparks or heat during a dry, hot, windy weather. Stay aware of weather and fire conditions. If you want more information, visit fire.honolulu.gov and hawaiiwildfire.org.
Mahalo nui. Thank you so much for the information and for your service. Members online, any questions for HFD? Members present? Hearing none. Any community members online? Community members present? Mr. Larson, you have a question? Thank you. The question, if I might repeat for Mr. Larson, is how many incidences on the ocean were reported? Thanks, Mr. Larson.
I would have to double check, but as far as I can tell on this report, there weren't any last month that we went on.
You have a follow-up? Yep. Yes.
Well, I can tell you now, the Honolulu Fire Department, there are no jet skis. We rely on the services of Ocean Safety for the jet ski, but we still have rescue boards and rescue tubes that we can use. Yeah. We do have a rescue boat as well, but they're not located here. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Seeing no other hands, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate your service.
Appreciate
HPD? And just for the record, we have Hokuakana on at 7:07. That does bring us to quorum. So mahalo nui.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
Community members and members online. My name is Lieutenant Drew Akagi. I'm in charge of the District 4, which includes the Waimānalo District. Report the stats for the month of April. There was 1 motor vehicle theft this month compared to 0 the previous month. There was 1 burglary this month compared to 1 the previous month. There was 1 theft compared to 1 the previous month. There are 0 car break-ins this month compared to 1 the last month, and 0 robberies this month compared to 0 robberies the month before. There are a total of 496 calls for service this month compared to 527 the month prior. Be open to any questions from the board or community members.
Lieutenant, thank you so much for the stats. We really appreciate you folks coming and presenting. Members online, questions for HPD? Seeing none, members present? Question, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Canela, neighborhood board member. Question is, when a constituent or community member contact HPD about EV kupunas, what is your guys' procedures on that? And does the community member need to dig up the EV so that you guys can take a photo?
No, we usually contact when there's bones. We usually contact the EV. We usually contact the Department of Law, DLNR.
Yeah. Then.
Yes, we contact them and they'll come and inspect the site and make a determination on what the next procedures would be.
Okay. So if that didn't happen when a community member made the report, what do they do now?
Okay. So upon finding the EV, you call 911.
Yes.
We'll dispatch an officer. Officer will go out there. We will contact. Of course, if it's we have to make a determination on the age of guesstimate on the age of the remains.
Mhm.
At which time we'll call DLNR. They come out or they'll make a decision as to what the next steps are. Whether sometimes we find them on the beach. They ask us to mark the area to cover it, mark the area, and they come out the next day during daylight. We work the nighttime, of course. They come out during daylight and process the area.
So if those procedures were not addressed or done in that way, what can the community member do if it wasn't done in that way? Because
So as far as HPD concerns, just if you feel like it wasn't processed the proper way, you can ask for a supervisor. Every sergeant will come out. They know the process, and they'll come out and make sure it's handled appropriately.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mahalo, thank you for the discussion. Any community members online? Seeing none. Community members here? Come. If you can come to the mic, please, and introduce yourself. Well, we need it for the audio. Yeah, thank you.
Bobby Silva.
District 4 covers from the top of Makapu all the way to Crawford's Convalescent Home in Kohuku. Yes.
How many patrol units do you guys have active? How many active patrol units are currently driving through Waimānalo throughout the day?
At night, we have 3. Daytime, we have 4. 3 or 4.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for your service as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. Any others in public? Questions for HPD? Seeing none, recognizing Lulu Milan at 7:17 brings our total to 8. I believe Kukui is also online now, so total to 9. Seeing no other questions, gentlemen, thank you so much for your service. Mahalo nui for being here. Oh, you had a question, Ku? Oh, thank you guys. Mahalo. All right, gang, we're going to move on to City and County of Honolulu Ocean Safety Department. And Aka, if you heard the previous question about, can you address that too?
Yep.
Thank you.
Touching back on the jet skis, each district so the island of Oahu's District 1 would be the South Shore, District 2 the Windward side, 3 North Shore, and 4 the Leeward side. Each district has 2 skis, which we separate into the opposite ends of the district. So we have one that's based mostly launches out of the Mauna boat ramp, the Hawaii Kai boat ramp, and the other one, like you said, is based over out of Kailua, where we're still standing by waiting on that new facility to finally be finished up. That way, and their grounds, their demarcation lines actually start from this side of Kaneohe Marine Corps Base all the way over to Makapu, and calls permitting or calls as they come in needed, they'll go ahead and either co-respond or slide over as needed. So we do still have the 2 skis, but to try and make sure that everybody is able to cover as much ground as possible, we put them over there. And then a side note, they are attached to trucks, so they're not just tower based, so they are mobile. So anytime you'll see a red one is the one based out of Kailua, and the white one is the one based over from Coco Head, and you'll frequently see them crisscrossing back and forth. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I 100% agree. Having been a former jet ski operator, and working around multiple districts, I can let you know that it's not just Windward specific. We're seeing the same issue island wide. The places that no one went to when I was a younger guy or a child growing up are now actual hotspots, and that's from what I gather everywhere. So that can kind of segue into another somewhat fun fact. We are recruiting. If you guys know anybody that's willing, capable, and able, we are having signups this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday, which will be followed with the physical tryouts. So like all the departments, staffing is always going to be something. The more people we can get, the more people we can put to the beach, and we're trying to get more and more better like overall coverage. With us being a new department, leaving the umbrella of emergency services, we're kind of still getting our feet under ourselves, figuring out all the logistics of that. But it's been the same mission the entire time I've been around. So we're doing our best, and yeah, we appreciate you guys. The support is we always feel the support from the community. I appreciate it. If there's nothing else, I can slide into some of the attendance. Starting with Sandy Beach, they had roughly about 50,000 visitors last month, with a total of 30 rescues. The preventative actions, for those of you that may not have been here for previous meetings, there's anytime we see something that could potentially become an issue, the lifeguard, that's our number one, that's our bread and butter, whether we teach all the new recruits. If you see something, get up, leave the tower, and go talk to them, whether it might be recommending a little bit safer beach or just letting them know the conditions for the day. So with that being said, our preventative actions for Sandy's were about 7,000, about 350 first aids, and is that probably about 10,000 public contacts, and that can range from a preventative or just saying hello and letting people know what's going on. Moving along to Beach 5, Makapu, roughly 20,000 visitors with 18 rescues, about just shy of 3,000 preventative actions, just shy of 300 first aids, and about 4,000 public contacts. Making our way into a little more of the heart of our area, which is one of those places that we've all seen drastically change over the last couple of years. Over at Tower 6 Alpha Waimānalo Beach Park, we had about 14,000 visitors with 897 public preventative actions, just shy of 200 first aids, a lot of them being stings and whatnot. And over there, 3 rescues. Moving down to Tower 6, Hunananiho, 13,000 visitors, a little over 800 preventatives, and 2 rescues, and then 7. For those of you guys that aren't aware, Bellows, the city side is open only for weekends and holidays. So, and that it's been an interesting one, especially with all the brown water. So they had about 6,000 visitors with 2 rescues, about 700 preventatives, 60 first aids, and about 2,000 public contacts. Overall, last month was an interesting month for everyone. For us, a lot of times we're the first ones on the scene for things that require us to call HPD. So we actually saw an increase in domestic violence calls, both down in Kailua as well as the beach park and also Hunananiho. We had 2 broken legs, one at Sandy Beach and one over at China Walls. And then probably our biggest one for this specific portion was, unfortunately, we had a CPR case down at Hunananiho. There was a unresponsive male. The lifeguard started CPR and did a quick handoff, and we're always grateful the fire and EMS, they were there as quick as could be. So our biggest improvement for Waimānalo, in my opinion, is now having a specific Waimānalo lieutenant truck. The truck is always pretty much in the area, and also HFD being nice enough to let us store that one vehicle at their place really gets our communication that much better. A lot of times I'll be passing them or we'll be next to each other talking, and then the alarm will go off and be like, "Oh, are you guys hearing this?" So our response times have been proven, and we've recently started using iPads, which we're hoping to be able to get real like live numbers to be able to share with the public, and also be able to track how our response times, how they actually have improved. We had a few issues with jet skis. Most of the time it's just folks running out of power. In fact, we just had one earlier this afternoon. And we're seeing a little bit more interaction between people and Rabbit Island or Manana, whether it be kayaks actually making landfall, is it getting reports of people actually on the island? Was it, if we can, then we'll get our jet ski out there. We'll contact the LNR, ask them if they'd like us to go ahead and go out. Again, we don't have any actual legal authority. We don't write any tickets or anything, but we're more than happy to go out there and at least say hello. And like a lot of times it's visitors that don't realize that there's rules. And then once we're educating them, like, hey guys, there's a big blue sign. You're not allowed to be on here. It usually goes relatively quickly, but we are seeing, at least for the last month, more people trying to go on the island than we've seen in the past. And that pretty much summarizes everything.
Aka, thank you so much
Yep.
for your service. Thank you for the stats. Members online, questions? Seeing none. Members present? Got a question?
Kuike, Vice Chair. Mahalo, Aka. I got a question about the data.
Yep.
Where does this data live and how do we get access to this data as a community? Because I'd like to figure out at some point in time what the true cost of those 18 rescues at Makapu, and as well as the other beaches in Waimānalo.
Mhm.
If somewhere down the line, you guys would need some support as far as policy recommendations and changes, it would be good if we had access to this data.
Yeah. As of now, it's still old-fashioned pen and paper. The towers are still using paper logs, so that gets processed and the lieutenants collect it at the end of each week. At the end of every month, we enter it into a database, which is maybe about a year old. Before that, it was just processed onto paper, and then unfortunately, we have a lot of boxes that look just like those white boxes in the corner. So old numbers might be a little bit harder to get as of maybe like the last couple of years, but that's where it goes with the iPad. I'm really hoping that that's going to be able to give us like live, like by tomorrow, I can go ahead and pull it up either with the iPad or have our dispatch go ahead and email it. But as of now, it's a mix of having to go and dig through the boxes and go through old stats and the last couple of years being able to pull up a database.
Mahalo, Aka. Chair, I have a follow-up question. Just off the top of your head, if you can,
Mhm.
how are you guys documenting the rescues as far as if they're non-residents or residents?
Yeah. So if it's documented by a tower guard, then again, they're going to be doing it on what we call an incident report. And in the area where we try to get as much information as possible, as well as witness information, but after an area where we get the patient's name, where they're staying, just some basic stuff, age, ethnicity, there is an actual specific box that says resident, visitor, and so we'll kind of check from there. Usually when we're asking them their name and whatnot and ask them, oh, where are you staying or where do you live? If they say, oh, the Hilton, then we're like, oh, where are you guys visiting from? So as of now, the hard copies are just checked with a box. With the iPad, if it's done with one of the mobile responder units, the iPads are as of now only in the trucks. We're waiting to get a little bit further down the road and hopefully get them out to all the towers. But there's multiple boxes actually on the iPad to designate where they're from.
Mahalo. And then one more follow-up question.
Yep.
Those, let's just say those visitors to Manana,
Mhm.
Are you guys also asking them if the craft that they're using to access the island is a personal craft or is it something that they rented?
I would like to say between me and you, but obviously it's documented. In my personal experience, it's been a mixed bag. It's been folks that there's also been local people that have taken their own kayaks out there,
Mhm.
and we're kind of like, hey, brothers, and everybody kind of all of a sudden, oh, I didn't know. When it is visitors, it's tends to be more like they've borrowed it from a friend or the Airbnb or something that they were staying at. So they're like, oh, these are actually my friend's kayaks, and they told us to, just go and kind of wander around. We have seen a few people coming down on rentals, and there was a very specific incident where we ended up having to pull 18 people on a, I'm not sure if illegal is the right term, but that's the way I viewed it. Tour. The gentleman took 18 people out into extremely rough seas.
Yep, it was windy that day.
It was really rough.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed in him because he's a longtime business owner that I expected him to know better. But yeah, in my personal experience, it seems like it's either personal crafts or borrowed from a friend. Every once in a while, there's a rental here and there.
Mahalo.
No problem.
Chair, if I just may offer a comment, maybe at some point in time, we could suggest that all of these operators have to tag each of their vessels. So, so our rescue folk can very clearly discern, who's operating a business,
Oh yeah.
and allowing this kind of activity to happen and who isn't. I mean, we do it already. The LNR does it already with all of the other vessels, and even canoes are tagged.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just a recommendation. Mahalo for the comment.
Mahalo nui. Thank you for the discussion. Any community members online? Seeing none. Community members here in person? Seeing none. Aka, thank you so much as always for your service. Mahalo for being here.
Mahalo. Have a nice evening.
Mahalo. We're going to move on, gang, to public agencies. We have Board of Water Supply. Danny, thanks for being here in person. And then I just want to make a note that member Ralston and member Nee also online brings our total to 11 out of 13 members present. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Danielle Arnellis with Honolulu Board of Water Supply. For the month of April, there were 2 water main breaks, 6-inch water lines, both installed in 1955. And unfortunately, there was another one this past weekend, 20-inch concrete cylinder. This one was installed in 1960. The board announcement for the month is just a water conservation reminder. Recent storms have brought rain, but water conservation still matters. Rainfall alone is not enough to offset everyday water use, especially during warm summer months. It is always important to continue using water wisely and doing our part to conserve. Some ways to save water this summer: water your plants early in the morning, take shorter showers, check for toilet leaks. Do not let the water faucet run unnecessarily. And Board of Water also has rebates for water efficient washers and toilets right now. And let's see. Using water wisely helps conserve this valuable resource and also can help lower your water bill. Do I have any questions? That's all I have.
Danny, thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
Appreciate your time. Members online, any questions for Board of Water Supply? Seeing none, members present, or excuse me. Yeah, we'll get to you folks as soon as we call community. We're gonna go through the board first, and then we'll get right to you folks. Thank you, Faye. Brenda?
Yeah, I was just wondering about because where I live, we had the Banyan Tree townhouses were affected by the water main break. So they said the reservoir went down. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
But the reservoir went down. So, unfortunately, I've been off island. I've just come back from the mainland this morning, and I jumped on to get some information. When the reservoir goes down, it's usually because the power is not working. The pumps use electricity to refill, and then it's a gravity flow to feed the community or the lines or our homes. I don't know the current status. I understand as of yesterday was to conserve. There will be, not so much high pressure. As for your community, I'm so sorry. I don't have any information about that. You have water now? You're okay?
Yes, it got restored, but I just never knew that the reservoir went down. So I just was wondering about that. But
Okay.
thank you for your work in helping us get it restored.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mahalo, Brenda. Any other members online? Hearing none members present. Canela?
Good evening, Canala Neighborhood Board. Daniela, would you be able to bring back that information on
Yes.
how our reservoir was impacted due to that water main
I
break?
will.
And then secondly, I would like to request if you could bring back the information on what the Board of Water Supply was doing on May 7th on Hihimanu Street, because they were actually turning and there was a whole bunch of Board of Water Supplies truck between 4:30 and 6:30 on Thursday
AM.
PM,
PM, okay.
working on that same road where that water main break happened. They were there before it broke. So the BWS trucks were there on May 7th
Okay.
and the water main broke, I think, on the Friday or Saturday. Sorry, my babies play football, so we saw all your guys' trucks there before the water main broke.
You know, were they
So there,
turning the manhole?
yeah,
They have their
there was
posts?
someone with a big turn thing. There's two of them
Okay.
just going at it, and then they
Okay.
actually blocked off in front of Hihimanu,
Okay.
where the main break happened. That I believe in front of Job Corps.
Okay.
So there was two crews that was actually out on that line on that street on the 7th. Sorry, I was foraging from our cultural gathering, so that's how I know they were there. Thank you.
Mahalo, Canela. Any other board members present? Hearing none. Members online, community members online? Hearing none. And then we have two questions here, correct? Canela, can you take a mic that way, please? Thanks. If you can introduce yourself and provide your question. Thank you.
Aloha, I am Paul Day, and like Brenda, I also live at the Banyan Tree. On Friday evening, late in the evening, around midnight, we had two water main breaks. One inside of Kakaina in the Banyan Tree residential area, and one more right across by the egg farm. So on both sides of Hihimanu Po'alima,
Okay.
we had breaks. My question, and I like the way we open with the kupuna, because I'm representing them today. What is Board of Water Supply's policy in regard to providing potable residents, potable water for our residents? What is the role of the water? And I'll explain the reason for the question, and no disregard. We have approximately 140 units. So that's 140 ohana, plenty people, plenty kids, lots of kupuna. It's kind of a more elderly mixed community.
Mhm.
And what happened is I found out when I got up 2:30 in the morning and I went to brush teeth, there was no water. So this break happened around midnight or so. And I went on your website and I realized that BWS was on it. It was reported and that there was a water wagon left for us. And apparently it's right outside my house. So when I went out, and I'll be straight up, I am a retired city inspector, was a really small trailer. This trailer carries 300 gallons. Simple math, that's less than 1.5 gallons per family. I knew what was going to happen. As the people were waking up, the kupuna was coming outside. And by 7, almost 8 a.m., they were standing around an empty water trailer. No more water. We have animals, we get dogs, cats, people that got to drink water, people trying to flush their toilets. You cannot flush a toilet with 1.5 gallons. It takes about 2.5 to flush a toilet. So we was having a little bit of a crisis and people are waking up to this.
Mhm.
I called BWS after we went without water for about almost 90 minutes, was empty. Kupuna was gathering. And I kind of got on the case as to why nobody's refilling this water trailer. I know it was a mismatch. So asking the board, I've never been to these meetings, but I asking you guys, gals, to please make sure this never happens again. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
I'm curious, when you went to the website, did it give addresses of where this water
It did
wagons were?
Honolulu Street and Kakaina. It did.
So it was the
We
corner.
only had one, and I was, how come we only got one? We need like 5 of them at least. It was really, and I think was bad luck. It happened on a Saturday and everybody just happened, most people were home. So it happened at the worst possible day.
Okay, yeah, I will follow up with the,
Okay, and
Super
I can leave my
Advisory.
number and stuff. Anybody like get a hold of us and just, the whole Waimānalo, this should not happen again.
Mahalo nui. Thank you,
Mahalo.
Akala. Council member?
Aloha, I'm sorry that you guys have to experience that. Whether it be this or any other emergency, you need to call 911. That is a 911 emergency. It's not a 311. Go to the app, right? I'm so sorry. And then what would happen, right? There are certain times when 911 is going to coordinate and they're going to determine, and then they're going to also help with regard to getting something done. And anyway, I just want to let you guys know that is an emergency. So we can't just rely on what your procedure is because you wouldn't have known. It was a mismatch, but
yes,
the most important thing is they should have felt confident that there was a number they could have called and it would have been 911. Yeah.
Council member, thank you for that follow-up. Was there another hand up? So Danny, that brings up a really good conversation. If the Board of Water Supply can respond to that at the next meeting, we'd be happy to get the response back to the community.
okay.
I think that's very well warranted. Yeah. Any other members for BWS? Uncle? You can come to the mic, please. Thank you. And introduce your name.
Sampaga, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, can you come a little closer?
When the water went back on in the break on Hihima, when the water went back on, again, I heard about even the pressure was low. Mike, hot for shower, toilet, and all that, frosty. Now, when the water came back on, the pressure was still low. What would us residents can do? What I did it today. I did it this morning because for days the thing was low, and I said I gotta do something. What I did is like when when you bleed the brakes, they like had air inside the line, and I mean we had water, but with the air inside, weak the pressure, So what I did, I went go like how you bleed brakes, try to get the air out of the line. That worked for me. I don't know if any of you guys had the same issue, and if you guys had to do that. I mean, if when the water came on, great, you guys had the full pressure. Had you guys regular 80, 80-pound pressure like that, great. But I did, and I was wondering what do I do. So I thought about it. I said, hey, you're like the brakes, leave the brakes because they're air, and that won't work. So if that would be the case, if other people is having that issue, I think it would be good to let people know what to do.
Okay, so,
Thank you, Mr. Sampaga. Thank you for the comment.
okay, so, for many years, I was a pipe fitter with the Board of Water Supply. I was the only wahine for many, many years. I've been through this, yeah. When that happens, I don't know why crew doesn't explain to you, but the easiest way to build your pressure back up is you go to your faucet at the farthest point from your water meter. So if you got a line right by the front of the house, you get one in the bathroom, you get one in the so forth. If you say the one in the backyard, you open that one up and gonna have bubbles, gonna have foam, gonna have white uji water coming out. You just run it till it's clear. And it should just flush out. You turn that one off. And what it did was clear your line, get rid of all the evaporation, all the air, and all any soot or whatever was sitting in your pipe. That's the easiest solution. Your pressure may not be full on, but it won't be bubbly. It won't be like spitting out and have all that muck in there. Sorry.
Mahalo. You have a follow-up, Mrs. Sumbaga?
Yeah, I know, and I did that on the
Yeah.
farthest one like
Yeah.
that. You're like when you bleed the brain,
Yeah.
do the farthest like that. But just to help any of you guys that I did all my waters. I did, yeah, I would do them all. That water run out, yeah, from the farthest and shut the one from the farthest, go back in to the closest to the entry of the water. And you know, I mean, even including flushing my toilet, the shower, the sinks, you know, the spigots, the water faucet outside. I try to time all that so that even my water dispenser from my refrigerator make all that so that there is no air bubble inside there. Because if you get about a week, you no more pressure. So after I do all that, I thought, oh baby, now you can go out. Even last night I go out, oh the bug only a little bit. You know that kind. But just for the kind, let you know how to like bleed out the air. So you get full pressure, the 80 PSI. So
Is the water, is everyone's water back to normal? Or do we have pressure again? Or are we still? We're okay?
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
You know. Mine was had that issue. Yeah. Just a thought for anybody else. Get like that, no more water and no more pressure. If we think about bleeding, or like how you bleed the brakes.
Mahalo, Mr. Sampaga. Thank you. That might be an add-on, Danny, if we might have a response for Board of Water Supply.
Yeah, can let the people know if that's the case.
Yeah.
Try to do something.
That's a responsible thing.
For you guys and go do that. Go bleed them far. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? That's gonna be plenty people.
Yeah.
I mean, we can try to do it ourselves, but it's knowing what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Thank you. Okay. Any others for Board of Water Supply?
Chair, one question.
Chair? Yep.
So I think you may have answered it if Board of Water Supply is able to bring a tip of the month for our residents. And what council members shared about the confidence. On a Saturday, if the HPD unit is a new unit and they don't understand the procedures of what to do in that type of emergency where there's no water trailer, does HPD know what to do? Because in this Evie Kupuna situation that happened, they're very new HPD candidates that they didn't know what to do, that they made us dig up Evie. So also with the confidence part, could you bring back something with what our residents can do on a Saturday? Like what numbers, and even if HPD don't know what to do, how can we help HPD know what to do in this kind of crisis situation? Because water is life, like, period. Thank you.
Mahalo.
We have, we have our after hours line. It's open 24/7, 748-5000, and it'll prompt you. I don't know the exact extension, but there are 3 people online. I'm sorry, 3 people working overnight shifts for like the water main breaks. Someone hit a fire hydrant, you see a sinkhole, etc. Yeah, stuff like that. That
Yeah,
is helpful, but
I think Kathleen was trying to do her best in
Yeah.
providing the community with updates specific, and maybe this is just a way to encourage more of that communication. Obviously, there's a need.
yeah, no, this is good.
So
This
that's
is-
good feedback.
Yeah, this is good with all the questions. Thank you, guys.
Welcome back.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks, Danny. Have a good day. We're going to move on to Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Director Thielen.
Aloha, can you hear me okay?
Yes, mahalo for being here. The time is yours.
It may get a little noisy here. We just had a bunch of fire trucks and police officers come into our apartment complex, but people are all standing outside, so it looks like it's okay. So for the mayor, the highlights, basically from the mayor's office island-wide, a lot of it is, the cleanup operations remain ongoing across Oahu from the Kona lows, particularly on the North Shore, with dozens of debris removal and hauling resources. Storm debris, if people still have that in their yards or their houses, maybe taken to the city transfer stations and convenience centers, open daily 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then Waimānalo Gulch is accepting residential construction debris such as dirt, rock, and concrete. Mayors indefinitely postponed any town halls in order to focus efforts on the damage from the Kona low storms, and then preparing for the hurricane season as well. We had some questions last month. One was about the pavilion construction being exposed during the storm. DDC's response is that the structural steel was not exposed to the weather elements for prolonged periods of time. The steel materials were delivered, installed, and concealed with concrete and grouting in a prompt manner. The contractor took precautions and efforts to cover the roof ridge beam with plastic sheeting to prevent moisture penetration. However, the rough carpentry did get wet due to the high winds and excessive rainfall. So the contractor's conducting moisture testing of the lumber prior to doing any finishes or painting to ensure the moisture content is within acceptable limits. We also got questions about the Hui Mahiai flood concerns and questions about the potential development in that area. So we have answers from two departments. One from the Department of Community Services. I did talk to the director, Anton Krucky, and he said if this board would like, he's willing to come on out and talk about the longer term plans for the development in that area. It is a state project, but he has been working with the state partners on that, and he's willing to come out to the board. If you would like to set aside time, I can arrange for him to come out maybe at next month's meeting. And instead of me giving a report, he could do a report on that particular project. What he said is that the area under development has been determined by Army Corps of Engineers to be outside of the floodplain, and has been any building would be done to prevent and avoid flooding of the area surrounding. And then there was some questions about whether there's fencing or retaining wall impacting the neighbors. And the Department of Planning and Permitting records do not indicate any permits issued for that project. Fencing and retaining walls may require building permits and design, including for drainage. State properties are not required by law to obtain permits or approvals from the city. So I think the questions could be further answered by Director Krucky if you would like to have him come on out. Then there were some other questions about the pump trucks from NAN Inc. and other activities that may have taken place during the Kona lows. I did send information over to the Department of Planning and Permitting that night that we were at the last board meeting, and they did forward some information to their inspectors, but they also referred the matter over to the Department of Facility Maintenance Stormwater Quality Division, because they're the division that would enforce any illegal discharges to storm drains and streams. But unfortunately, the DPP referral happened before, in a shorter period of time, where I don't have the DFM, Department of Facility Maintenance response for tonight. So I will be able to bring that back next week. But we did gather all the information that was provided to us last month. And I think that's all I have from the questions from last month, and I'd be happy to take any new ones or to try and answer any questions as well.
Director, thank you so much for the report and the report back. We'll take a few questions. Members online, questions for the office of the mayor. Seeing none members present. Canela?
Hi, good evening, Mayor Canela, Neighborhood Board. I believe my question is just clarification. Did you share that a permit is required to be issued before a wall or fencing can go up?
In general, some fencing and retaining walls may require building permits, but also state properties are not required by law to obtain permits or approvals from the city. So DPP doesn't have any records from permits in this area, so I don't know whether the fencing and retaining wall did require a permit or not, and I don't know whether it was something done by the state where it would not be required. So I think more information would be needed to answer the question. All I can tell you is that there are no permits on record with DPP.
Thank you, Director Laura.
Thanks, Canela. We're going to go back to Hoku. Hoku, you had a question for the Office of the Mayor?
Aloha. I was also asking to clarify that, sorry, you guys can hear me, right? Yeah, okay. I was also asking to clarify whether or not there were permits, because I have pictures of a wall that was erected in that space, and it caused flooding for the family that came to complain last meeting. And so we went over there to check it out ourselves to on a separate reason. But since we were there, I took pictures, and I'd be happy to submit it to the board for sharing. So, I mean, since there is a wall that was erected and there's no record of it, how do we, I guess the question is, how do we get the guys who's building to play nice and talk to their neighbors? Because a little bit more added concern was this Ohana was also involved in helping that organization to incorporate all of the cultural things, and this is how they were treated. So that's why there's Eha there, because there was a assumed pilina and it wasn't taken care of. And I just want that to be noted for the board to consider as well. Mahalo.
Thank you. Auntie Blanche is here as well. So when they give their update, we can definitely have that answered. Thank you, Auntie Blanche. Okay, any other members of the board? Questions for the mayor? Hearing none. Members online, community members for the Office of the Mayor online? Seeing none. Community members present for the city? Okay. Director, thank you so much for the update. Mahalo nui for being here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Right, gang, we're going to move on. We have the Department of Transportation, Mr. Abe.
Okay, good evening, Chair Kane and members of the Waimānalo Neighborhood Board. Casey Abe from the State DOT Highways. I apologize for missing April's meeting, but unfortunately my workload has been increasing significantly, which has prevented me from attending your monthly meetings. I used to represent 8 neighborhood boards while managing our project coordination and technical services branch, which consists of 10 people. But now I'm managing the Highways Materials Testing and Research branch, which consists of 40 people, and still represents the highways at 7 neighborhood boards. So if I miss your monthly meeting, you can always email your concerns to Chair Kane and he can forward me your concern. I will investigate your concern and attend the next meeting and report back the findings. On Monday, April 20th, I received a call from Ms. Carrie Choi Fu, who lives near the Nalu Street Beach access, about some trash and a cover for our yellow crash barrel was missing. Working with our maintenance crew, they managed to remove the trash and install a new cover when I did my field inspection last week, Thursday on May 7th. At the March 9th meeting, I mentioned about the loose electrical wires near Nalu Street and the trash on the Makai side of 41706 Colonial Highway. During my field inspection, I noticed the loose electrical wires were just wrapped around the utility pole to prevent anyone from snagging the wires. And although our maintenance crew removed the trash in March, I noticed another bag of trash is at the same location. So I'll work with our maintenance crew to remove the new trash. At the March meeting, there was also concern about the low-hanging wires along Hui Street. The wires are within the city's jurisdiction, so I need to ask the mayor's representative to reach out to the appropriate utility company and to address the problem. On Monday, April 13th, I received an email from Chair Kane about some missing boats on our existing guardrail system near Kaupo Beach Park. After doing a quick field inspection on Thursday, April 23rd, and working with our maintenance crew, they installed the missing boats when I did my field inspection last Thursday, but I noticed they forgot to remove the excess nuts and bolts near one of the guard posts, so I removed them. Also, in his April 13 email, Chair Carney expressed a concern about an existing gravel driveway near the end of our guardrail system on the Mackay side of Colonial Highway, eastbound, after passing Cowpool Beach Park. During my field inspection, I noticed there are two existing gravel driveways where vehicles are accessing the driveway and leaving their trash. I'm working with our maintenance crew on a solution to prevent vehicles from accessing these two existing driveways, so I'll need to report back at a future meeting. I also noticed a lot of trash along Colonial Highway within the neighborhood board area. I'll be working with our maintenance crew on removing the trash. Also, during my field inspection, I noticed some overgrowth from private property intruding onto our pedestrian sidewalk just past Aole Street, going westbound on Colonial Highway. I will ask our maintenance crew to work with the homeowners on cutting back the overgrowth before an accident occurs. And finally, at the March meeting, State Representative Martin asked about the status of a beautification plan that she and Senator Lee would like to implement, which includes planting trees within the wide, unpaved shoulder along the Malka side of Colonial Highway between Loyalty Street near McDonald's to Wailea Street near Kineki's Drive-In. During my field investigation last week, Thursday, I realized that planting trees will help beautify the area. Talking to our horticulturist, he suggests planting these three types of trees, but if the neighborhood board and but only if the neighborhood boards and the residents agree to having these trees. From a maintenance point of view, our maintenance crew can assist with the trees when the trees reach full maturity with periodic trimming, but we would need assistance from the residents to help water and take care of the trees until they reach full maturity. But during my field investigation last week, Thursday, the resident at 411018 Colonial Highway saw me taking pictures and came up to talk to me. After explaining the situation about planting trees to help beautify the large shoulder area, the residents asked me if we plan to talk to all the residents where we plan to plant trees, and if they want trees planted in front of their homes, even though the area belongs to the state highways. He also expressed his concern that residents like himself use the area for additional parking for their vehicles and boats. He also suggested that we ask residents if they don't mind having trees planted along the right-of-way lines that separate their property from their next-door neighbor's property, so that they can maintain the open space in front of their homes for additional parking. I did tell the resident that if he has concerns, he could either attend tonight's neighborhood board meeting or reach out to his state elected officials. I did notice the residents' mailbox were installed at two different locations, and even a fire hydrant was located next to the residential home and not near the highway. So I was thinking that we need to plant these trees to ensure easy access for the mailman and fire trucks. So we currently need assistance from Representative Martin, Senator Lee, and the neighborhood board on how we want to move forward. We do want the neighborhood board's approval on any future tree planting plan, since the board members do represent the residents. This concludes my report. I can take any questions at this time.
Mr. Abe, thank you so much for all the details provided in this evening's report, as well as the reports that you provide. Really appreciate it. Members online, questions for Department of Transportation? Seeing none, members present? Lulu?
Aloha, it's Lourdes Milan. On the fire hydrant that was showing in front of the owner's property, who installed that? The owner did?
No, it was part of the construction when they did the highway because it was wide enough for future widening of the highway.
For future widening?
Yeah, but it was started when we initially constructed the road. It's part of the state because it's within the state highways right away.
And the mailboxes?
And the mailboxes, that's where resident has the right to install their mailboxes, normally right outside their residential right away. But I noticed that some of them installed the mailboxes by the asphalt sidewalk, so I guess it made it easier for the mailman. So that was my concern, that where we decide to plant trees and how that's going to affect the mailman's delivery, because
And on
Yeah,
the, I'm sorry, on the planting of the trees, when the residents water, do they get billed for the water? That
Oh,
they're
yeah. Oh, they get billed for the water. I guess you could say that, yeah. Because I noticed some places, some areas do had already trees planted already. So they must be taking care of the trees because they wanted to separate their right-of-way line from the neighbors. So they took initiative. So again, it's just a matter of how the board and elected officials want to move forward because we heard the support, but we want to make sure that the neighborhood board approves of the plan.
okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Lulu. Any others? Canela?
Yes. Good evening, Canal Neighborhood Board. My question is for the Department of Transportation. Are they responsible for all roads in the state?
Yeah, that belongs to state highways, yeah. All the state roads and the
All
freeways.
state roads.
Yeah.
Would a state road be considered in like a state project that is being made?
Well, it's normally is we announce it through our state highways, our highway improvement program. But there are some roads like that belongs to the Department of Land and Natural Resources that goes up in, parks and stuff. It belongs to the state, but it belongs to another department. State highways take care of the roads that move vehicles and people from one place to another place.
And if this road is under the authorization of the Department of Human Services, who is responsible for this road?
Oh, no, so this road right now, Colonial Highway is under jurisdiction of the
Sorry,
highway.
Mr. Abe, there's a road being built right now. So we would like to know who will be responsible for that road if something happens to it.
Oh,
Or if it
where is this road?
impacts. It's in TMK 41008:008, where phase 2 of the Mahiai Development LLC is making the new Kauhale in Waimānalo.
I would have to double check. I think most of the time it'll be a county road because it's a local road. And the developer is hired by the county.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Abe.
Thanks, Canela. Members online? Any community members online? Community members present for DOT? Seeing none. Mr. Abe, thank you so much for your work. We will work with Representative Martin. There was some previous outreach done prior to your coming on board. So I'm curious if Rep. Martin might want to share that. And some of the information that was shared back then was really to address some of the heat and UV index. Waimānalo has one of the highest. And that's where that project kind of stems from, in addition to obviously the beautification. But it does come with a physical change to the research that was provided at that time. So mahalo for bringing it back to the attention.
Welcome.
Sure. Sorry, Mr. Abe, one more question for clarity.
Canada. Mr. Abe, are you able to bring back that information if you are able to help us figure out who will be responsible for this road if anything was to happen to it?
Well, first of all, I have to look find out who's responsible for developing the Kauhale.
I
stuff
can
and-
email you the information, Mr. Abe.
I can double check. Would you mind like emailing me the tax map key again?
Yes.
Give me that. Yeah, that would be great.
Thank you.
Mahalo, Canela. Mr. Abe, thank you so much and mahalo for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on, gang, recognizing that it is 8:09. We do have a very full agenda, so mahalo nui for the discussions. I'll just ask that we keep our comments, questions maybe concise. We do have several presentations that need to take place this evening as well. We have the filling of one vacancy on the board. There's one at-large position available. Members, are there any recommendations or any interest from the public? Lulu?
Lourdes Milan or Karen O'Mahony. She would like to join the board.
Mahalo, thank you so much for that. Any others to fill the last vacancy? Okay, hearing none. Karen, you want to share with the community? Introduce yourself and maybe your interest in joining the board. Thank you.
I'm Karen O'Mahony, And I grew up in Mililani Town and came to Waimānalo in 2009. I was a substitute teacher at Blanche Pope for about 10 years and just have always loved this community since we moved here in 2009. We live on Alai'i Street, and we have a nonprofit horse program at Saddle City. And what else do I want to tell you? I just love this community, and I don't know that I have the time, but I'm going to make the time to be available for this service. So, thank you.
Karen, thank you so much. I'm going to ask that we take a recess real quickly. Karen, if you might be able to show any proof of documentation for your address to Melissa, and then we'll take the next steps from there. So while this is happening, I'm just going to ask us to take a very short recess to confirm, and then we'll move right after that. Mahalo, gang. Good time to go restroom. We're going to pass out the clipboard. If folks can sign in, that would be helpful. Mahalo.
And then the board will nominate you. Once you're nominated, then I can give you the other forms and do the rest. Thank you. They one of the reasons why the commission was trying to help them help the board. Like they knew what the problem was, but they never had any. I used to stop recording during a recess, but I don't because many times I the president stopped it. But one nominated the vacancy, then does this.
Well, legends on how, so.
You think today? Yes, actually, this today. If not,
That's right.
give them my card.
Yeah.
But what I've been forgetting.
Right.
Mahalo, gang. If we might just find our seats. Thank you so much for your patience and accommodations as we squared away some information. Okay, so we have one member, we have one recommendation for Karen O'Mahony for this position of at-large. And seeing no other recommendations at this time, we're going to go ahead and take a vote on that. Do you need a second for that motion? Yeah. Okay, so members, when your name is called, you're going to ask. Lulu did? Yeah. You want her to restate it? Yeah. And then Karen, can you just remind us your pronunciation of your last name? O'Mahony. Okay, O'Mahony. Thank you. Members, when your name is called, please state that name, O'Mahony. And I apologize up front, Karen. We really do try. We take names seriously, so O'Mahony. Mahalo nui kako. Thank you. Members online, cameras on, please. Thank you.
Member Hoku Akana.
Aye.
Sorry, you got to state the name, Hoku.
Oh, Kalamai. Hoku Akana. Aye.
Okay, we're going to try this one more time. We got to say the name of the person that you're voting for, the nominee. O'Mahony is the name, Hoku. Try again. O'Mahony. Thanks, Kukui.
O'Mahony.
Thank
Aye.
you. Mahalo.
Member Kukuya Kana,
Omaheni, aye.
Member Kamahalo Hanuilai,
Yes, Karen O'Mahony.
Vice Chair Kamakea O'Hello. Thank you. Chair Connie,
Omaheni.
Member Makaila,
Omaheni.
Member McKeague is not here. Member Milan,
O'Mahony.
Member Mokulehua,
O'Mahony.
Member Nee.
Omaheni.
Thank you. Member Alston.
Omaheni.
Thank you. And Member Wong.
Omaheni.
Chair 11 votes.
Mahalo nui. Thank you. Sorry, did you guys do the oath of office? Okay. So mahalo nui for that. Karen, thank you so much for your service. We look forward to your participation here. We're going to have you join Melissa in the oath of office and some paperwork, if you don't mind, and then you can join us on the desk. Thank you. Members, we're going to move on. We have some updates from community reports and education. I'm going to ask if there's anyone here from Waimānalo Elementary Intermediate School. Hearing none, I'm going to read a letter sent from them dated May 11, 2026. Members of the Waimānalo Neighborhood Board, as we approach the end of the 2025-2026 school year, we are excited to share an update on the incredible things happening at Waimānalo Elementary and Intermediate School. It has been a season of growth, reflection, and vibrant community spirit. The last week's few weeks have been full of highlights. We recently celebrated a beautiful May Day Ho'ike, bringing our families together in the spirit of aloha. Last week, our campus was buzzing with Spark Aloha energy for Teacher Appreciation Week. Our school band also held an outstanding Aloha concert featuring the world premiere of Fantasy, an original piece composed by our very own students, Ransden Akau. Additionally, we are profoundly grateful to the Nakupuna Foundation, which generously donated bicycles, helmets, and licenses to all of our second graders. We are also incredibly proud to announce that one of our educators, Blake, recently completed the rigorous HDOE, Hawaii DOE Na Kumu Alakai Teacher Leader Academy. While we celebrate these successes, we also want to be transparent about the challenges ahead and where we need your partnership. Following our recent WASC accreditation visit and a review of our preliminary state assessments, we recognize an urgent need to increase our instructional rigor. We are currently undergoing a mandatory realignment to ensure consistent high-level instruction in every classroom. However, we also heard from our students that disruptive and off-task behavior often interrupts their learning. We humbly ask for the board and community's help in reinforcing the importance of respect, focus, and strong attendance at home. We are in the Huki Pau, the final pull of our last few weeks, and we need our families to encourage our keiki to stay fully engaged until the very end. Looking ahead, we invite you to join us in celebrating our 8th grade students at their promotion ceremony on May 28th. Every learning target met this month is a step towards that stage. A'ohe hana nui ke aluia, no task is too big when done together by all. Thank you for your unwavering support for our students and our school. Principal De La Cruz and Vice Principal Elian, Waimānalo Elementary Intermediate School. Mahalo nui for that update. We're going to move on to Blanche Pope Elementary. Kekula Kaiapunio Waimānalo. Hearing none. Malamahanua Public Charter School.
Aloha. Kalmai.
Oh,
Oh,
aloha.
sorry. Maile, are you from either of those schools?
Yes. Hi, Kimiona.
Hui, aloha. Are you
Aloha.
representing the school this evening, or is this from the parent concern update?
Update. Should I call you?
Yeah, after. I'll call you shortly. This is for like the official school.
Oh, mahalo.
Okay, mahalo for being here. I'll definitely make a note. We're going to move on then. Hearing none from Blanche Pope and Kekula Kaiapunio Waimānalo. Denise, mahalo for your time.
Aloha. Mahalo nui, chair and board. If I could share my screen. Maybe not. It doesn't look like it wants to let me share today. So I'll just quickly.
You
I'm
should have
sorry?
access. You should have access.
Okay, let me try one more time. Let me see, share.
Still not yet.
It's saying I think I have to reset something. It's okay. For time, I'll share it with you, Kimiona, if that's okay.
Yeah, we can upload it. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so aloha mai kako. I wanted to just share our ola no eao that is taking us through these 2 weeks of as we wind up the end of the school year. Ela hoi mai na wa'a I ke ka, I ka hoi, I ke ka, pai aku I ka aina. Everyone is paddling the canoes together, bail and paddle, paddle and bail, and the shore will be reached. So if everybody pitches in, the work can be done quickly. And so we celebrate how everybody has been working together. Even towards the end of the year, we wanted to share about our successful 5th grade defenses and 8th grade defenses that happened in March. We're so proud of all of those haumana. We also want to share a collaboration between Hui Malamo Kekai, Malamo Honua, and Kanehunamoku, where where Waimānalo came together and were able to bring together a brand new va'a, tu'u po ki'i aloha. And she was launched 2 Fridays ago. And then this past week, we were able to be with her for our 6th grade sale. And so I wish I could share with you some of the pictures, but they had an amazing 6th grade sale on this past Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, in which that was her maiden voyage. The special part was not only that the community came together to help bring her to life, but also our 8th grade interns were just a very integral part of from the very beginning, sanding to lashing to actually the ceremony and the protocol that brought her into the water. I was so proud of our 8th graders and all that they were able to do, and such an honor to be a part of a new baby va'a welcoming into Ohana Va'a. And then for our 6th graders to be able to sail on her this past week was amazing. We too celebrated our WASC visit that happened in April. We are currently in K through 4 interviews for our trimester 3 ho'ike, where our haumana get interviewed by different community members on the projects that they're doing. So I just was able to interview our kindergarteners as they learned about the importance of malama kai, and from the importance of how we take care of our ocean so that they can get healthy i'a, so they can eat the poke that they want to eat, to a variety of different songs that they created to inspire us to take care of our oceans. So from kindergarten all the way through 4th grade over the next week, we'll be having trimester 3 ho'ike. Our Pukakula Kihe ceremony and hula ho'ike is on May 27th at WCC. We have a small group again going to Alaska for our STEM program with Kamakau, June 6th through the 13th. And we are also doing another program with Kamakau, June 22nd to the 26th, in collaboration with WCC and different healthcare providers. So providing a summer health career fair and a camp, I guess, between June 22nd and 26th. And we just mahalo the community and the board for your steadfast support of Malama Honua as we enter the final days of the school year.
Mahalo nui. Thank you so much, Po'okumu. Thank you for the information. Any questions, members online? Members present? Community online? Community present? Seeing none. Mahalo nui again. Denise, thank you for being here. We're going to move on to Kulakai Punio Kailua, Hokuakana with that update.
Aloha, Can I share as well on the
You can
screen?
try.
Okay, let me see if I can. Let's see. Window, all right, share. Is that visible to
good.
people?
Yep. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Aloha mai kako o wau no kumuakana no kikula kaipuni o kailua. I just wanted to share this update that recently we successfully presented our FAFKI to Aha Kauleo, which is the board that it's a collaborative board between state, OHE, DOE, Kahaku'ula, Kulanui o Hawaii Mama Noa, about the different kayapuni throughout the Pai'aina. And so quarterly everybody gets together and we were able to successfully present our slides. So just some highlights. Let's see if I'm able to. Are you guys able to see this, the change?
Yes.
Okay, mahalo. So of course you're gonna hear from our Po'okula Jill shortly, but some stats for us all just so that we can see the statistics. And I wanted to share to make a note of it in our historical record that we have 765 students at Kailua High School. Of the 765 students, 324 of them are enrolled in some Papa Hawaii. So currently we have 4 Kayapuni, 139 in Papa'olelo, Hawaii, 54 in Papahānano'eo, 30 in the ukulele class. Let's see, 65 in Papahula, 13 in the Hui Mele, and 25 who participates in the hula club after school Nau'io Kawailoa. So we are trying to leverage this data to show the extreme interest in Mea Hawaii at our school to help address some of the issues that might be highlighted or challenges that might be highlighted in our WASC. And so, of course, this is our mission. It's to help inspire everybody, whether or not you have koko, to cultivate our students to perpetuate Hawaiian things and specifically definitely Hawaiian language practices, aloha aina, all of that. And so kalamai, I am not good. Yeah, let's move that on. And so this is another data sheet that can be shared. These are all the things that Kula Kaiapuni was able to accomplish this year. From August, we established the first of a series of La'opio that we intend to replicate next year. First one was La'ku'oko on November 21st in collaboration with Naku'aina o Waimānalo. We had planned for a second and third for January 9th and May 1st, and still in the plans for that, how we can roll it out without bumping into everybody's schedule. So next year we're hoping to have dates. I'm pretty sure we're going to have dates set on the schedule for that, so that we can impact school-wide the culture and the language and the importance of including Mea Hawaii in all content areas. For Mahina Olelo Hawaii, we did a campaign of aloha where our students did Ho'olaha Makololo Hawaii. We created flyers and posters to post around school, as well as the kids were encouraged to graffiti the campus with Olelo No'eo. And so that was interesting. You could see students and kumu stopping to read it. And we also had the vehe vehe next to it so people could understand what it was talking about. Let's see, what else? We were able to do several huaka'i to Aina-based classroom environment in Mala, Lo'i, Loko'i'a, Mahalo, Kimiona, and other spaces. We participated successfully in the Onipa'a March, and we will do that again, hopefully with more students this coming year. And of course, we are trying to actively participate in Ahupua'a governance through the Waimānalo Neighborhood Board. Our culminating ho'ike was WCC in December, and we have Velo coming up this coming Thursday and Friday. That all of the community is invited to participate and come and attend. It's a free show. Kailua High School on Thursday at 6 p.m. and Friday at 6 p.m. And last but not least, we were able to collaborate that list of our community grassroots and organizations to help support Kayapuni this year. And we hope to grow that list as we continue to build the program so that we can maintain the matriculation of Kula Kayapuni students coming up to Kailua. Other than that, some pictures. This is our Ho'ike, our Huaka'i to Kaloko. This is Kalola who spoke today. She was able to finish her lei for Pukakula. So all of our students are doing their lei hulu right now and learning alongside with our senior who was able to finish her lei. We have our own kumu anuhea that comes from Windward Community College to help finish us off for Hawaiian Studies 107 and has also helped us with mele and oli and hula as a kumu hula. And our Onipa'a March. And oh yes, we won the Hehe Ko'olao at WCC as a Kailua school. So plenty things happening, great things, and other than that, Oya Valeno, mahalo.
Mahalo nui. Thank you so much for the update. Members online, questions? Members present? Community members online? Community members present? Seeing none. Hoku, thank you so much for that. Jill, thanks for being here as well. We're going to move on.
Hello.
Jill, I'm sorry, did you want to share anything this evening?
If I could just add a couple of things, because we have a lot of exciting things happening in the month of May. And some of the things to highlight besides Velo, we just had our JROTC awards, our senior capstones for our Ready to Surf Academy. And then our graduations, we have Kayapuni on the 22nd. And then our graduation at 4 o'clock will be back at Kailua High. The stadium lights are up and they're going to be tested on Wednesday. It's been a long road, but it's actually going to happen. And then Halau Hikili has their Ho'ike at Windward Community College on May 28th from 5 to 6:30. And then the news we just got yesterday was that our Ready to Surf Academy had applied for national model. They were applying for a model status with the NCAC. And we found out we got model with distinction. And we received a perfect score. So a huge thank you to all the community members that are on our board, our teachers, our students. They just shined, and it was an amazing achievement for Kailua High. We're very proud.
Congratulations, gang. Thank you so much for your service. Mahalo for being here. We're going to move on. Hui malamo ke kai. Hearing none. Windward Community College, Chancellor. Thank you so much for being here. The time is yours. You can unmute when you're ready. There we go.
There we go. Thank you. Sorry. Running around. Thank you for letting me be here. Aloha, Chair Kane and members of the board and the community. This is an exciting week for us. On Friday, we celebrate graduation at 5 p.m. 6 p.m. at Windward Community College. It is our biggest graduation ever. We have 175-ish students who will be walking across the stage that night. So that's really exciting. We also have summer registration and fall registration going on right now. I wanted to share 3 things regarding that. The first is, if you're trying to register for Windward, but say you're a student at Leeward because you're primarily doing a major, or Kapi'olani, you're in a medical major, when your home campus is another campus, you have to ask a counselor to let you in because of all the issues we're having with our student record system this year, Banner, as it's transitioned to a new system. So if you're having any issues when you're trying to register, you can contact a counselor. And at Windward, we have express advising going on during business hours all day. There's a Zoom room open. You can just jump in the Zoom room, or you can come to our Trio SSS, and there's a counselor on duty. So we're trying to make sure that people have help accessible, because we see that this is a especially frustrating time to register. And then the only other two things I want to share is, one, please don't forget, if you have a graduating senior, we have a scholarship program, Ho'ole, where financial aid doesn't cover any part of their tuition. We do, so there's no tuition out of pocket for any Windward side public school graduate, and public charters are included in that as well. If your graduate went to a school out of area but wants to return to Windward, they can also request, and if we have enough money, we will cover them as well. And then finally, for those who apply for that scholarship, Ho'ole, in the summer, we've set up a summer bridge program where they can take up to 6 credits for free. So 2 classes more or less. And there's a 20-hour per week job at $17 an hour. So there's a Ho'ole summer program where you can have a job and get 2 classes covered. In the fall, not only do we have the Ho'ole scholarship, but we also have, we've upscaled our freshman work positions. So there's also lots of jobs for our graduating seniors on campus to help them balance work and study commitments. Okay, that's everything. Thank you.
Chancellor, congratulations. Thank you so much for your service. Members online, questions for WCC? Hearing none. Members present? Hearing none. Community members online? And community members present? Seeing none. Chancellor, thank you again so much for your service. Mahalo for being here.
Mahalo nui.
We're going to move on to University of Hawaii College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resources, CTAR, Auntie Ilima. Hearing none. Hawaii Job Corps, Ms. Julie. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Julie Dugan representing the Hawaii Job Corps. I'm happy to report we are steadily building back up our enrollment after Department of Labor tried to pause the program last year. So we're up at 70% capacity. What that means to the community is currently we have 60 openings for young adults who need to maybe finish their high school diploma, take advantage of some of our top-notch career training programs. So we do tours every Thursday at 9 o'clock. They can contact me directly at, or actually they can contact our marketing specialist, Hi'ilani Bush, at 259-6025. Again, tours every Thursday at 9 o'clock. We are 24/7 operation. You know, we have residential advisors, security officers, academic instructors, cooks, administrative assistant. So if you know anyone who's looking for work right here in Waimānalo, I have some flyers right here. Please help us spread the word. Outcomes. Our students have been thriving. I think on a weekly basis, we have 3 students finishing our high school program. Career training. Not only they're going directly into jobs, but in this last month, I think we've had 3 go into other apprenticeship programs. They've been able to qualify and join the laborers union. And also we had a young wahine join the painters union. So they're putting the skills to work out there. So please help us spread the word that not only we're serving the young people, but we would love to employ people from Waimānalo. They continue to be a part of this community. That's something we definitely stress. We're over at the food distribution at the district park twice a month. At the Kanikapila, we were helping with the parking. We were down at Kiona's after the storm for the cleanup with many organizations. So we try to instill that in them. So when they go back to wherever their community is, hopefully they'll continue to play it forward like all of you do. So mahalo.
Thank you, Ms. Julie. Mahalo for sharing. Mahalo for your service. Members online, questions for Job Corps? Seeing none. Members present? Canela?
Another. Hi, Julie. My question is, did we get any updates on the federal level on what's happening with Job Corps? Are we still secured with funding? How is the conversations doing up there?
The funding's voted on annually, and they just finished it. So for the next year we are good. And of course, we have great support from all of our members of Congress, our local elected officials, but of course, Congress votes on it. And all of our representatives, as soon as that Dear Appropriations letter comes around, or Dear Colleague letter comes around, our representatives are always the first. So for this next year, yes. Unfortunately, in our the current administration, in his next year plan, he's already trying to close down us and several other programs. But, after the last year, how the country's cried out and Congress said, I'm pretty confident that we'll be around, but you never know.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Mahalo. Community members online? Community members present? Hearing none, Julie. Thank you again, Mahalo, for your service. We're going to move on to Waimānalo Health Center. Jasmine, thank you for being here. The time is yours.
Aloha, thank you for having me. A few announcements. I wanted to share again about our free support program for anyone wanting to quit smoking or vaping. Support for that's provided one-on-one, and it can be in person or it could be via telehealth. So we want to make it as convenient for you as possible. And with that program, we offer nicotine patches, gum, and medication to help people quit. So anyone that's interested, just call our main line at 259-7948. I also wanted to share that we're celebrating National Nurses Week, which ends tomorrow with International Nurses Day. So we just wanted to say a big mahalo to our nurses. We have 12 on staff, and we appreciate how they care for our community with their dedication, their skill, and their aloha. Tomorrow we'll be posting some photos to social media. So I just want to say mahalo to our nurses. And lastly, we are still hiring. So if anyone's looking for a job in Waimānalo, we have new positions being posted regularly. So I'll put the link in the chat. Currently, we're looking for community health workers, medical assistants, staff positions for cultural health, also dental assistants, which doesn't require any experience. We do on-the-job training, and some other positions. So please check that out if you are interested. Thank you.
Jasmine, thank you so much for the update. Mahalo nui for being here this evening. Members online, questions for the Health Center? Hearing none, members present. Community members online? Community members present. Seeing none. Jasmine, thank you again for making time to be here this evening. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
We're going to move on. Hawaiian Homestead Association. Hearing none. Bellows Air Force Station. Hearing none. Marine Corps Base Hawaii. Hearing none. Hawaii Army National Guard. Hearing none. Okay, we're going to move on to resident and community concerns, noting it is 8:43. We do have a few presentations, so we're going to turn it over to Aloha McGuffey at this time with a presentation, and we'll get that up right now. Mahalo for being here.
It really is a pleasure, and thank you so much, Chair Kane and members of the board here. First of all, I'd like to compliment this neighborhood board. You really define the word neighborhood. I am I'm an at-large member of the Wailai Kahala Neighborhood Board, and I've been doing presentations at different neighborhood boards and on this topic that I'm going to be speaking with you about. And I've got to say that this is the first neighborhood board that I've come to where you really have engaged the neighbors. And I love the Olelo no Eau. I love the Lohe Ike Kupuna. All that you're doing here is really a model, and I hope that some of our other neighborhood boards throughout the state will follow this wonderful example. So congratulations to you. So actually, that is, did you go to the first slide? Yep. Okay. So this is a picture of East Oahu. And I'm going to be talking about a draft of a climate and resilience mandate for East Oahu. it really is something that you already are doing here in Waimānalo. You're talking to each other about your challenges and coming up with solutions for those challenges. And this is something that we want to take throughout East Oahu. So East Oahu begins in Kaimuki, Palolo. It goes all the way through Wailai, Kahala, Kuli'o'o, Kalani Iki, Hawaii Kai, which we call Mauna Lua, and Waimānalo. And of course, Mauna Lua is part of your Waimānalo Ahupua'a. Mahalo. Okay, Chair. So obviously, whatever happens in the ko'olau, in our mountains, when it rains, it all comes down either to our Mauna Lua Bay, or it comes down into your Waimānalo Bay. So we share the same connected watersheds, streams, and of course the Pacific Ocean. Mahalo nui. Next slide, please. Okay. So why does this matter to East Oahu? We have experienced, as you know, the Kona Low recently. We had 3 events that really hit us hard in many of our communities, even here in East Oahu. We had flooding, we had pollution coming down into the oceans. There are so many things happening, strong winds, power outages, and erosion into our bays. Mahalo nui. So this mandate actually began in an effort by Joe Ibarra, who is vice president and general manager of the Kahala Hotel and Resort. Kamehameha School graduate, one of the first Hawaiian vice presidents and general managers here in the islands. And he totally believes that we must come together in unity to help not just the hotel, but to help the community that the hotel is located in. So he contracted, I'm a consultant, and he contracted our organization, Ulumau, to put together a sustainability plan. And this plan was completed in 2020. It started in 2022 and it ended in 2023. And then we received approval from the owning company of the Kahala Hotel and Resort, and we began our expanding what we're calling the Kahala Initiative for Sustainability, Culture, and the Arts. So we formed a hui called Kiska, and we invited our neighbors from various parts of East Oahu and asked them to come together and help us to design to take this plan into the community. One of the ideas that came up in that plan was to put together a symposium for climate resilience. That was organized in September 18 to 19, 2025. And some of you were here, attended the symposium. I want to mahalo to our councilwoman for being here, for being there and giving us a wonderful speech. In fact, it was your speech that really helped us to look at the 10 roundtables that were formed and organized the second day after your speech. And that helped us to understand that our voices are all needed in order to, be part of the planning for this area, as well as the funding. And you gave us a whole list. I have a whole list now I'm working on because of your presentation. And also want to mahalo our chair here tonight, Chair Kane, who also spoke and was part of our one of our roundtables. So we have Kiska Hui now has about 150 people who are connected in various ways. And I'm hoping that, we will get some of you attending here tonight to be part of our Kiska Hui so that we can be unified in coming together for East Oahu. So you can't see this too well, but we actually had 10 roundtables at the symposium and 32 speakers. And it was a 2-day event, as I mentioned. And so the 10 roundtables included many areas such as ecosystems and watershed protection, clean streams and storm drains, education, youth engagement, disaster preparedness, green infrastructure, coastal resilience, cultural heritage, waste management, food security. But one of the key ones that we really tried to attack on all 10 tables was policy alignment and advocacy. And we believe that through our 6 neighborhood boards in East Oahu, that we will be able to deal with each of these areas, 10 areas, if we unify our voices. Okay, mahalo. So again, here are the 6 neighborhood boards, as I mentioned earlier. Now we realize that each of these neighborhood boards has a unique climate risk and therefore priorities for your community. So we want you to give us as much information about your community so that our mandate draft can include those challenges as well as the solutions that you have, because we realize that people on the ground are the ones who identify solutions and can offer them up into the plan. Okay, mahalo. So this is Oahu, and as you can see, the lighter blue tip of East Oahu is where we're talking about. There are 2 circles up there. The first one is community input informs our city regional climate risk mandate initiatives. So we have in this area 3 city and county of Honolulu plans. One is the Ko'olaupoko Sustainable Communities Plan that you are here in Waimānalo are in. East Honolulu Sustainable Communities Plan, which is Mauna Loa, Ahupua'a, and goes all the way through to Wailai Nui Stream. And then the primary urban center plan, development plan, which goes from the Wailai Nui stream over to through Kaimoki and Palolo. In talking with people at the symposium last year, we discovered that many people did not even realize that they were part of this plan, a plan. And so one of the things we want to do is to educate our East Oahu community residents to the fact that they are part of a plan by city and county. The plan evolves changes every 10 years, or gets updated every 10 years. And then based upon what comes up from the residents and businesses in the area, that's what gets updated in the plan and funding for many of the different projects. So when you have time, I highly recommend that you go online and just type in Google. You can do a search on the plan that you're in, primary urban center plan or East Honolulu, or the Ko'olaupoko plan, and take a look at that plan. And you'll see the communities that are hard at work, working their plan, plenty stuff going on in there, good funding. The communities who are not doing anything and don't have their voices heard, you'll see blank. There's nothing in there. So our goal is to cover East Oahu with all of our input. And by the way, the plan, I forgot to mention, the plan was sent over to your board. And so I'm hoping that the board will take a look at that plan and then review it with your community and come back to us with your recommendations. And the next slide. Okay, so as I mentioned, we had the Kiskahui was formed. Number 1, we had the, let's see, sorry. Oh, here we go. Okay, the 6 neighborhood boards, we're now in the process of collecting input from the 6 boards from now through July. And I am coming back here again, Chair, in June 1st for your June neighborhood board meeting to do a second follow-up. Hopefully we'll have some mana'o from all of you when I come back on June 1st. The project, we also formed a steering committee. The committee is helping us to finalize the draft by taking the input from the 6 neighborhood boards. we will revise and update that mandate. And then the next step will be to propose updates to the various city and county agencies and and DPP so that they can be they can include the information that we're collecting from East Oahu residents and businesses. So again, participation from all of you is very important because the mandate is all about building participation and not just about planning. And we hope that we can get you to become part of us. Okay, next. So getting involved, there are many, many ways that we will be asking for your involvement. Of course, trash cleanup, watershed restoration, stream cleaning and maintenance, reef and shoreline protection, local agriculture and food security, neighborhood disaster preparedness, community resilience hubs, renewable energy with backup power. And of course, we'd love to have any of you and all of you join in our Kiskahui. We have a base camp communication platform. It's an online system that allows you to pick up information and allows us to communicate with all of you. There are many nonprofit organizations today, like 800 cleanups. We have Livable Mauna Lua Hui and Protect and Preserve Hawaii. There's so many. There are numerous nonprofit organizations that we hope will also help us in this effort. And also Auntie Blanche here with your Hui Mahi Aina. Yeah, we look forward to collaborating with you as well because although I just realized we don't have housing in here for houseless people, I'd love to work with you on that. And one of the speakers at our symposium was Durain Karisu, who is with IO and helped coordinate with you your second development. So really hoping that we can get you to participate as well. So I will be back, last slide. I will be back again on June 8th. And I'm hoping again by that time to have all of you in the board read the mandate and then talk with your constituents in your various sub-districts. Oh, actually, are you all now at large? Yeah, okay. So you all have kuleana for the whole place. So get your community to give you some input. And then when I come back on the 8th, I'm hoping that we can get your feedback then. And of course, it's not going to stop there. It's not going to stop on June 8th. We probably will be coming together with you to form various committees to work on these various community projects. And that's, there we go. And that's my email. So if any of you would like to connect with me, please do so. I also have brought some business cards. Happy to share them with you. And of course, you can let Chair know that you're interested in participating in any or all of these things that we're going to be doing. Mahalo nui.
Aloha, thank you so much for making time this evening for us. For those that are new, we typically will have a presentation and then we'll add this as a board item for the next meeting where we can have more of a discussion, appropriate time to ask questions, to engage differently. And so we look forward to contributing at our next meeting.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any immediate questions?
Nope.
Members online, any immediate questions? Hearing none. Thank you so much for being here. Mahalo. Right, gang, we're going to move on. We have an update regarding the intent on preparation of a declaration of exemption regarding the Waimānalo Reservoir. And this presentation is going to be provided here. Share. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jolene Ota. I'm with Community Planning and Engineering, and we are working with the State Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity on the Waimānalo Reservoir Improvement Project. I think for this meeting, we are just giving a brief introduction to our project and our project scope of work. Next slide. Okay, and then so for this slide, this just shows the project location in the Waimānalo area. So this is towards the Mauka side of Waimānalo. The entrance to the reservoir is at the end of Mahalua Road or Street, sorry. Next slide. So just for the project scope, we are looking at doing improvements in two main areas of the reservoir. So improvements to the existing access road. So this is inside the reservoir. So this would be from the access gate off of the city roadway, and this is going up to the reservoir embankment. So improvements consist of paving the existing gravel access road. So stabilizing the access road will provide a more reliable access to the reservoir crest during storm events. And paving will also minimize erosion and reduce time, material, and effort spent repairing the access road. And then also another part of this project is doing improvements to the existing diversion channel and exit channel. So that's shown on the lower portion of this slide. So that's toward the Mauka side of the reservoir. So the purpose of the diversion channel is to collect runoff from the mountainside and divert the flow around the reservoir into the exit channel. And then the purpose of the exit channel is to transport flow from the diversion channel and reservoir spillway into the Waimānalo stream area. Improvements consist of lining the outlined red portion in the slide. So lining the channel will inhibit vegetation growth of the existing channel, maintain the capacity and functionality of the channel, providing a smooth surface, will enable settlement and debris to pass through the channel during storm events and allow for easier maintenance. There will also be less chance of blockage or plugging of the spillway area and allow for the spillway to work properly. And improvements will reduce time, material, and effort spent removing residual settlement and debris from the channel. As far as project schedule, we are in the early design stages of this project. We still have to go through permitting and approval process, and the anticipated start of construction would be the summer of 2027. That concludes my brief introduction of our project. I guess, are there any questions?
Mahalo nui, Jolene. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, this is a conversation of interest for many, so we plan to put it on the board this business at the next meeting to have a more fruitful discussion. But are there any immediate questions at this time from board members online? Seeing, I'm gonna stop sharing. Sorry. None. Okay. Any members present?
Mahalo, Chair Squeakin. Can you briefly explain to us what the work will, what kind of work will be entailed for the relining or the lining of the spillway Mauka of the reservoir?
So there's already an existing channel and it's earthened right now. So we are just looking at excavating out that existing channel and installing either a hardened liner, so either grouted riprap, which is just rock and grout in between, or concrete.
And what's the life expectancy of that upgrade work?
So usually you would expect the life expectancy around 50 years design life.
And who's the adjacent landowners, Mauka?
I believe that area is owned by the state.
Owned by whom? Which department holds the fee? Because if it's DHHL, it's not owned by the state. It's administered by the state, but it's a federal trust that's been set aside. However, right, if we're talking that jurisdiction, so because I believe the entire Mauka facing INA is in the DHHL inventory. Have you guys consulted with DHHL?
Have not. We are working with the State Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity.
Right, for the work that entails it within the TMK.
Yes.
However, the adjoining property is DHHL,
Okay.
correct?
Oh, we can check on that.
Okay, so please come back next month with that answer. Because I'd like to know exactly how you folks plan to consult the beneficiaries of that trust, and then how we can ensure that DAB will remain good neighbors.
Okay.
Okay, and then if we can please have a comprehensive explanation of the work that will be entailed, so that this board here and this community can be duly informed of exactly what can happen. Because I can tell you 3 years ago, 2 years ago, this community has had a poor relationship in relation to that TMK that's Department of Ag has fee over, as well as the neighboring one. The administrator of that department came here and told us that, one thing, and then ended up being another. So I will yield my time back, Chair, and just wanted to remind us of that recent history.
Mahalo nui kuike. Thank you. Any other members present? Community members online? Seeing none. Community members present? Seeing none. Jolene, thank you. Mr. Larson, you have a question? So the question is, and so what is the question? Does it change that?
Done. Because we have read everything that they've done has been a success.
Hmm.
It's got work. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they reached the dam up there. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Thank you.
How much farther than that? Here we go. There's old stone waterways that are still there.
Mm-hmm. Noted. We'll make a note of that, Mr. Larson. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Sure.
Good evening, Canala Neighborhood Board Member. Thank you for your presentation. Has anyone ever approached anyone that is a part of this development or construction about lineal descents to that reservoir? Or has it ever brought that kind of conversation to you folks?
So I can only speak on our project scope. So we do have an archaeologist who did do archaeological literature review and a field inspection of just our project area and what we're planning on disturbing. In that particular area, it's all been previously disturbed, right? We are looking at doing improvements on existing infrastructure. So their recommendation that there's no historic properties being affected, and with that, they're going to go and consult SHPE with their archaeological literature review and their findings.
Thank you. Just a clarification, has any person come to any of your team members about lineal descent or personal interest to it?
Not for our particular project, yeah.
Or could you go back to your team and ask if any of your staff or team members had had that conversation with anyone from our community or outside?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jolene, thanks so much for coming and presenting. We know that the timeline is a ways away, but as you can see, there's a lot that this community believes in that should happen. And so we look forward to partnering. And if you, do you have any other members of your team online? Is anyone else?
Online in present, though, I have someone from my company and also somebody from the state
Okay.
or the Department of Agriculture.
Okay. Can any of them come forward? Just to introduce yourself. Aloha.
evening.
Good evening.
Glenn Komodo, engineer with the Department of Agriculture and Security.
Thank you. Glenn. Aloha.
Aloha. Anson Murayama with Community Planning.
Mahalo. Gentlemen, as you can imagine, there's a lot of question that goes up in this. We look forward to engaging in a conversation, a fruitful conversation, as you can tell. And so if there's any response that you might have to any of the questions this evening, that'll be really helpful. If not, we hope we might be able to engage a little deeper in the next meeting. We invite you folks to participate in so we can have a really fruitful conversation. But any immediate response to anything shared this evening by the community?
If you will go back and review, especially proper response.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for making the drive out here and participating this evening. We really appreciate it. Thanks, Jillian. Thanks for connecting. Hello. Right, gang, it's 9:10. We're going to press on. We have Pono Olu Olu with an update, followed by Hui Mahiai Aina, followed by Kikula Kaiapuni o Waimānalo. So if we could have those updates. And then we still have quite a bit of elected officials reports to cover through, and then some board business. Oh, mahalo nui.
So we have a PowerPoint. Oh yeah.
Thank you, folks. Thanks, Mia.
My name is Mia Lisa Otis. I am representing Pono Olu Olu, and myself and Canela have been asked to advocate for the people on Olu Olu Street. And there's about 14 of them, and a handful of them are here today. If you can raise your hand. Okay. Okay, next slide, please. Pono Olu Olu is a community-based advocacy ohana that supports research, learning, and public education on state, city, and community processes and procedures. Its purpose is to help community members understand and engage with developments impacting TMK 401008:008. Next slide. Pono Olu Olu was created to provide a safe and supportive avenue for community members who have expressed concerns or fears of possible retaliation or intimidation related to individuals associated with the TMK 41008008 development and the Kauhale Initiative. It is intended to ensure those voices can be shared and documented without fear. Next slide. So what we're requesting from the community is a support and cease and desist of all construction and development at TMK 41008008 and surrounding areas due to impacts on health, property, flooding, and community safety. Multiple DHHL beneficiaries have been impacted by backfilling and construction by Hui Mahiai Aina, and request a stay or what is it called, halt on all development until DHHL provides beneficiary consultation, legal support, and environmental assessment. Request DPP pause all permits, approvals, and development activity for this parcel. Request disclosure of flood and liability insurance coverage for impacts to surrounding properties, and request SHIFTY conduct an immediate on-site review, including Kapa'akai analysis. Request the Hawaii Department of Health conduct an on-site health and environmental assessment, and request assignment of a direct point of contact to communicate with our Hui regarding this matter. Next slide. So where it says 13.568, that's where Hui Mahiai Aina is at right now. And where it says acres is the new development. And the road is along, like parallel, like within that square between that, the new road is actually just parallel of Olu Olu Street. Next slide. This is the new kahale that's going to be developed, and it's going to house a lot of people. And we welcome our houseless community, and we support the shelter itself, but we just want to make sure that the land, the infrastructure, and the water and the ocean are very safe for everybody. Next slide. Honolulu met with Mahiai Developer LLC on April 19th about flooding, water flow, wastewater, residents' concerns and impacts, and no response or update at this time. And the development team is Lisa Martin, Dwayne Cariso, Dexter Kubota, Lloyd Sueta, and our members are myself, Canella, and 14 residents. And the paper that's up here now is part of the emergency proclamation, which expires soon. It only goes 60 days. Next slide. This is a photo of residents' property being impacted by the retaining wall and the weep or whipple holes causing flooding and standing water conditions. And I'll just explain that the water naturally flowed Mauka. So now that it's at a standstill and those holes are also pumping water, that's why it's flooding right there. Next slide. I think I just said this. The retaining wall and whipple holes are causing water to flow into residents' property, creating repeated flooding and standing water problems. About 12.5 feet of added fill and the wall's drainage system changed the natural way of water flows through the area, pushing more runoff into the neighboring yard. During heavy rain, water builds up on the property and is causing ongoing damage and unsafe conditions for the residents. Next slide. Clarification is still pending from Mahiai Developer LLC and the project team regarding the purpose and function of the underground cement basin installed on site. The property has been raised approximately 12.5 feet above the original ground level, significantly altering the site's natural elevation. These changes raise concern about how stormwater is being managed and whether the current design is contributing to drainage issues and flooding impacts on neighboring properties. And the TMK reflects the property's condition prior to any construction or development. So on the bottom left, you can barely see it, there's a pink flag. And if you go towards the center back, there's a white square. And to the left of that is another pink flag. So the ulu trees and the banana trees are gonna be wiped out. And it might not seem like much to some people, but that's food for our people. Next slide. That's the walls currently on the right side and before the flooding on the left side. So you can already see that the wall is shifting. And I want to add that the wall itself, I don't do construction, but it's only like 6 feet wide and like 4 feet tall. Even if it's like double walled, it's not going to sustain. Next slide. This situation raises serious concerns about the impact of the current development on existing residents and the surrounding community. It is difficult to reconcile claims of supporting houseless solutions when ongoing development may be placing current families at risk of housing instability, including increased flooding, insurance challenges, and limited access to home improvement support. In addition, it is consistent with the principle of Malama Aina when agricultural lands and established trees cultivated by residents over many years are being removed or disrupted. And also, not to mention the swap of land from DHHL to DHS. And the final slide. Is that the Pa'akai? I can't even read it. Okay, that's our request to SHPD to conduct an immediate on-site review, including the Pa'akai analysis. Is that all? That is all. And I'll take any questions.
Mahalo Mia. Thank you so much for that update. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick. As shared, we typically are just taking in any kind of updates, so we don't really have time or space for discussions unless they would like this to be added to the board business. But are there any pressing comments, questions from the board members online? Hearing none, board members present.
So, thank you for your presentation. Is the wall that you had in the pictures, is that the same wall that Laura Thielen was talking about earlier? That Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Chair, I got a question for Lisa. In your request, why did you or Pono Olu identify SHIPD as the responsible party to conduct the Kapa'akai analysis?
Did you want to answer that?
Okay. Sorry. I am Canela. I've taken off my neighborhood hat. I am the researcher for Pono Olu. So with SHIPD, our Pono Olu is fairly new. We're like maybe 2 months of like educating, learning, and researching. Right now, with the environmental assessment, SHIPD was utilized because we had a resident share that there was EV kupuna there. And right now we knew like SHIPD would be someone that we could hopefully help with the door entry to understand surveying and assessing the environment around there. In 2024, Don Chang gave an environmental exemption to this parcel. But in 2024, the exemption was given to a Waimānalo community farming application and not a Kauhale application. So also our research is trying to figure out where's the funnel, because in February, DLNR gave the direct authority to Department of Human Services and the Houseless Community Department to give the permits to the TMK for the development. So right now, Honolulu utilize SHIPD because that's where we were. There is la'alapa'au back there. There is banyan trees. The biggest concern that our resident brought up was the EV kupunas that was there.
Okay. You just identified 2 other state agencies, and that's pretty much the basis of my question.
Oh.
Because none of the state agencies can forego their constitutional obligation to uphold, and ensure that a Kapa'akai analysis happens. So if you're only targeting SHIPD, to me, you missed the boat. Who's
Got it.
responsible for the project in its current state should also be called out and identified. So that's the basis of my
Mahalo.
question. Just Chair, mahalo for the opportunity to ask. I'm not going to go through
No,
everything else.
we're going to
you
jump on the
presented.
boat. Mahalo
No,
ka'i.
because I really just want to know, right, what is your intended outcome when you only identifying one state agency?
So our attendant outcome with SHIPD was the EV kupuna, because that's pretty much the environmental that our resident can clearly say, I have identified EV there. Our intent with the Kapa'akai was to allow the analysis, but with the education, Honolulu is open to learning about which agencies, department are appropriate for doing things. And I believe that's I asked as a neighborhood board, like where does the process and procedures happen as state agencies? Because we're still learning.
Chair, if you may allow me like 30 more seconds. The reason why I say that, because if you're only specifically talking about EV kupuna, first of all, the state of Hawaii has no authority over our kupuna,
Oh,
right?
yes,
So who has that authority?
we do.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if you ask them to conduct an entire Kapa'akai analysis for potentially and allegedly, finding of EV kupuna or discovery of EV kupuna, it may be narrowed down to only just this piece of paper
Yes.
in the entire TMK. Right? So to me, is if you are trying to look at the project as a whole,
Yes.
I
That's
would
our goal.
also call out and identify who's responsible for the whole.
Got it.
Because whoever's responsible for the whole is also responsible for that small piece of paper.
Yes.
And so
Mahalo.
that's just me,
No.
because I just want clarity here, because you're asking the board
Yes.
to potentially take action in the future. So it has to be very clear.
Yes.
We have to know, right, the exact questions you're asking of us.
Thank you. Mahalo for that. Could I ask a question from Honolulu? To the chair, yes.
Yeah, this isn't a board business for tonight, so I don't want us to get into full discussion on things that are going to require more time. Tonight was supposed to be an update, a concise update. And so I think while Kuike is being generous with his feedback, I think there's important information that the group needs to go back in and figure
Yes.
out. Come prepared to have that discussion at the next meeting. Reach out if you need to as Pono Olu Olu, and we can clarify some of the questions that we might be able to take a stance on. At the end of the day, it's going to fall back on your Kuleana, right, to bring together the specifics of that and to what extent this board might take a position on. I think to be very specific is going to be very helpful.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your Ike. Mahalo.
Mahalo, of course. Okay, so we're gonna press on. It's 9:25. Our meeting normally ends at 9:30. We're gonna go until 9:45, and we're gonna have a hard stop. Okay, and that's because respectfully, people have lives to get back to too. Yeah. But we do know that there's so many important conversations needing to happen. So we're gonna press on, Auntie Blanche, with Hui Mahi Aina with a presentation and an update. And then Kekulu Kaiapunio Waimānalo, and then Mr. Larson had some comments as well he wanted to share this evening. So
Aloha, I'm Blanche McMillan. I am the CEO and the founder of Hui Mahi Aina. I thank you, Kiona, and the board members. I want to update you guys on the new project that we're dealing right now. We went through a lot of our civil defense. We made sure that everything was taken care of before we move forward with the retaining wall to protect our people. The reason why we put the retaining wall is to protect our homeless people. It's because of they said it's a flood, but in that section, it is not a flood. It's a DLNR land. It's not a DHHL land. No, you got to correct yourself when you pronounce it. And the department that I'm at, the land that we're on right now is a DLNR, Department of Land and Natural Resource land. And so we got the property. It's a 14.35 acres. So the one that we are building on right now, and we started our project, but let me give you the EV. Let me tell you about the EV, because remember, you're not a licensed person for
Auntie Blanche,
archaeologists. Yes.
okay, if you can,
Okay,
just respectfully just address me
Okay,
instead
okay.
of
I'm
targeting
sorry,
any
Fiona.
individuals. Thank you.
So what I'm trying to say is that the day I went there to check on my workers there, my construction people, that we was going for it, not knowing we had some visitors in there looking at things that was already, especially the EV. I'm pretty sure we did all of that. So when she said EV, I said, do we have an archaeologist there? Do you have a state archaeologist that can pronounce that there is an EV in their property? But there was nothing. She called the policeman. She told the policeman that they have an EV there. And I said, my goodness, I didn't know there was an EV. I thought we did everything in the right way. We had an archaeologist there. We made sure that everything it was in the right place. One thing with me, I do not go for it unless it is wrong. But if it is right, we are going forward with this property. And just the cause of it, because we're making sure that our people are safe and we protect it. And so that's what my heart is about, is to make sure that people are safe. And so that's why we're building up this property to bring in more of our Waimānalo people. And we have a lot of Hawaiians out there that I want to protect. I want them to come home where they belong. And that's what it is all about. And I know Junyang is here. He's one of my main men for this state. And he's here to talk about my property too. Junyang, are you here for that too? Oh, just listening. Thank you. Let me do the work. And so this is what it's all about when it comes to the property. But rain, you guys all know that my other side was a flood. It was very bad. 3 times got hit, 3 times badly. And we had to send our people, 40 people on the first day, to go to emergency shelter. And it was really bad. They cried because they didn't want to be out there. They was out there for 7 days in the emergency shelter. Well, we had to pump that system, that water out from that land. So what we did, Wailua, not a NAN Incorporated, brought their 3 trucks to help me pump out their water so that our 40 people at the shelter could come home. And they were dying. They were wanting to come home so badly. Then we got hit again, the second round. This time was really bad. We had to, you should see, I had my people in the back there. Now that's 106 of us. 40 people was in the shelter. And me on the opposite side of on Hilo, where I live, we had to transport food to them in their property. And we had men who carried the food on the pallet and the forklift just to feed my people. It was hard. I cried because I had to fan to them from far distance. And that's how bad it hurts me for seeing my people in the flood. Then I got hit again on the third one. Now, I don't grumble because it's Mother Nature. You don't fight Mother Nature when it comes to flood. You just let it flow, let it go, because everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to come in place again. And I believe that because God gave us that privilege. Be humble, be patient. Things are going to be all right. And it sure did. The third, that one, we worked hard. We did outside, we did our best. And our people can tell you the whole story. How hard we worked hard just to bring all of them home. And even the Red Cross wanted to help us, but I said, no, thank you. We already have help. Guess who we had help from? The people around me. The people from churches all over came and helped in helping me clean up the area, being there for them. It is not a place where we're supposed to grumble and we're supposed to work together. And Waimānalo, we have family. We work together as one. There's no such thing as grumbling. If you can't grumble, then don't say nothing. Help us. Let us all work together. I am just trying to save our people. That's all. Bring them home where they belong. I don't need to fight with the state and city just to go get the land. I wanted to get the land for the people. And that's what I did. When I first started, yes, you're correct. I didn't have no time permit. I didn't have but I only had the right of entry. But did the state and city stop me? No, they didn't. I built the home with no permit, no nothing. I followed my heart to bring the people home from the beach. And I did. In 2 days' time, I brought them home. And we built the houses that you see there. And I made my people work. I brought the old Hawaiian style. Nobody sleeps, nobody be lazy. Everybody works together. And we clean, we cook, we do everything on the Aina. We even have a garden where we can be sustainable. And that's what we do on our Hui Mahi Aina. And now, let me tell you something. We have classes. 5 of my people graduated with a CNA, certified. Now they started to work as nurses. Today, we have 8 CNA new classes. We have construction worker, all construction works. And then we having this Dr. Kipper. He's a brains person who brings his mobile to help my people. So this kind of project, I thank God because you know why? Our OHA has given us money. We use the money for our people. We made them become educated. We're not going to let our people sit back and do nothing on the property. They are going to learn. They are going to work. And they're going to survive. And that's how I work with my people. And you know what? Let me tell you something. How much I love my people, I will continue on to protect them. And nobody is going to tell me you will not protect them. But let me tell you, I'll protect my people when it comes to this. If I have to broadcast this whole thing, this project, I will let the whole entire world know exactly what I do on the property. Because that property belongs to our Hawaiian people. Yes, it is. But I want to give it in a good way. A good way where everyone can love one another and care for one another and be there for one another and show the aloha in their heart. So this is why I want to continue on doing the homeless shelter. And our new village is going to call Hui Mahi'ai Village. That is a new project on the opposite side. But remember this, that flood was 3 times we got hit. And that is all Mother Nature's rain. And nobody can stop the rain for Mother Nature. So this is why I'm here today, to give my peace and my love and tell you guys this whole story about this whole thing about. I want to thank you and mahalo. May God bless all of you. Thank you.
Mahalo, Auntie Blanche. Thank you for the update. We're at 9:34. I'll take any questions from board members online briefly. Seeing none. Board members here? You have a question? Go ahead.
Aloha Canela, Neighborhood Board Chair. Thank you, Auntie Blanche, for your presentation. How can public get access to the civil defense and all of the Army Corps engineer and all the archaeologists that you guys have done on the TMK? And if June Yang could come for record just to state who he is, because I think he is a part of your whole.
Yeah, he's here is just to participate and listen. He's not here in an official capacity.
Met up with Dwayne, Dexter, and you met up with Lloyd. That is the engineers. And they told you exactly about what happened on the property. He tells you guys exactly how they got the permit. But let me tell you something. When you use Josh Green's right of entry, not right of entry, I'm sorry. It's the proclamation, the emergency proclamation, you don't have a permit. But at the end of your project, you better have your permit ready. So that's why I'm letting you know. This is how it works. It operates on this kind of permit.
Thank you, Auntie Blanche. So who helps secure and authorize the permits to that TMK?
Actually, I don't think, on the TMK, it comes for DLNR. This is where the state of Hawaii
doesn't provide your permits anymore?
No, we don't have the permit yet. And we're using the emergency proclamation of Josh Green. At the end of the building and everything, that's when we will get the permit.
Who will issue the permit during that time?
That will be the state. I'm sorry, the city.
The city.
Yes, that is correct.
the-
If you want to ask more questions about that, you should have asked Dexter. And
No, it's only because I know it's actually the homeless solutions.
that is correct.
So they will issue your permit.
Yes.
And I do apologize. It's just to learn the whole because there's a lot of hands in this program. So thank you so much, Auntie Blanche.
Yep. Thank you.
Mahalo. And again, very happy to have the discussion in a larger context. Obviously, Auntie Blanche is here in response to concerns brought up by Pono Oluolu, and Pono Oluolu are here to raise concerns about the project. So clearly there's a need for larger conversations to occur. And we can potentially look forward to that in a very near future. Auntie Ao, you had a comment, cool. Sorry, we had one more and then we'll go to Auntie Ao.
I'll let Auntie Al go first.
Aloha kako o wau o a o po ha kuku. I am the head of the spiritual nation of Ku, and I'm not an American. I am a Kanaka Maoli of Ko Hawaii Pai Aina, and all these lands belong to us. There ain't no gray areas here. And I'm listening to people over here in the education, and I'm sorry. I think you guys doing a fabulous job, but something wrong with this picture here tonight. And what's wrong is that you have privileged people getting special treatment for getting lands, for trying to do a good thing. And that I support my sister right there because she's got to do what's right. But you know what? Sometimes this shit is getting wrong done. Because if it was correct, then these people would not have a problem to have to form what Pono Olu Olu because of retaliation. You know, that word is spooky because I just live in Waimānalo for the last 12 years, and I know what bullies look like, and I know what the governor, who ain't my governor, that's my sister's father, whatever, and he do for her, and I'm glad. But you know what? Off the backs of all the other Kanaks, I don't think so. Because he passed a law, he passed some shit that said that he could condemn, anybody could build on bones, desecrate our EV, our sacred site, and that is wrong, sister. I don't care church or what. We're not talking church here. We're talking truth. You cannot go help, sister, people for coming in, all these drug addicts and what, and they dispossess the people that have been here for over 100 years. That is the problem here. That is the problem. We cannot have bullying. We cannot have people supersede because of who you know and who you connected to and have privileges, because what the governor allowed you to do, and you too, Esther, you guys in collusion with all you guys permits and lands that you guys get for doing good things, have to include the community because they've been here before Esther. Exactly.
Thank you.
So wait. So the who feelings here only can be addressed when the truth of all the voices are heard. And I don't want to come to more meetings. But if this the kind of stuff going to happen, and I'm joining this group because I'm not going to put up with anybody who's going to desecrate Kupuna.
Mahalo for your thoughts.
Kupuna that is, and you got to recognize them.
Thank you.
Malama. Okay, so
Thank you, Auntie.
anyway, I'm very impressed with you doing meetings.
Mahalo.
I am. But anyway, I had to say my piece because people need to get educated on our history.
Mahalo.
Not we get involved and change things of what is pono for us. E mau pono.
Mahalo.
E mau pono ka ea. We are Hawaii. Without us, nobody get nothing.
Mahalo. Thank you so much.
My kupuna is important to me. I don't know you, but you know what? I'm here tonight.
Mahalo for being here. Thank you. We're going to take a last comment and then we're going to move on.
Yes, Chair. Mahalo for the opportunity to comment. I really just would like to also encourage you to add this to next month's agenda and then the months following so we can have a robust conversation and discussion. And really, I just want to frame this within the jurisdiction of the quote unquote state of Hawaii. Yeah, the TMK that is up for discussion is within the public land trust. And because it's in the public land trust, it's subjected to scrutiny. Yeah, and then part of that scrutiny is the Kapa'akai analysis. And that's what the previous presenters talked about. Now, while I do understand that the emergency proclamation on houselessness and homelessness does prolong the process of permitting, it does not suspend, the constitutional mandate and obligation to uphold and ensure that the Kapa'akai analysis happens, right? So, Auntie Blanche, mahalo. Our people do need it. You're not wrong, right? Our people do need it, right? And sooner better than later, right? But we also got to make sure that we remain good neighbors. So, Chair, I just mahalo for the opportunity to share my mana'o, and I encourage you to put this on the agenda moving forward.
Mahalo nui, gang. It is 9:42. We're going to press on, recognizing Kekula Kaiapunio Waimānalo, followed by Mr. Larson, and then we are going to determine what time we have left. Miley?
It's a quick update. We are meeting with Ho'okumu of Waimānalo Elementary Intermediate this coming Thursday. Just wanted to let you folks know.
Thank you. Thanks, Miley. Thanks for staying on. We look forward to engaging. Mr. Larson, you had questions or comments to share? Would you be so kind? Thank you. Oh. Too much sport.
It's about our kids. Without our kids, we have nothing. And what's going on right now is, especially for our local kids, we got some of the best athletes around, and they're paying these exorbitant fees to play sports. $400, $500. Who's got it? I mean, it's crazy. My great granddaughter pays $1,500 to play one season of soccer because it's a club. You got to belong to a club. so you can go all the way out to the other side of the island and play. Another thing is want the pier open. The pier's got to be open again to for fishing. It's mandated in the lease because Waimānalo authorized that the fathers of Waimānalo before authorized that pier to be built, and in there it stipulates in the lease, the original lease, not the lease and lease and lease after, for the pier to always be open for fishing. No, it's not open now. Real quick. Kiona Beach. You know, that place really means a lot to me. I made a lot of friends there, and we thought we really did something by bringing the community together and doing all the work. For some reason, every day I think about somebody that I didn't know very well, but I enjoyed, was Dodo. He came down there, sat down and he built the rock wall that's next to the ramp that we built. It brought a community together that was, you know, a lot of us older guys wanted something to do too. And to do they made it beautiful down there. Now there's a law that we can't do that. And then when that happened, that was too much for that. They can't take it away. Kiona Beach, without that ramp there, I think Kiona's is a cultural site. Am I wrong? I think it is. You're supposed to know. No, it's been for the Hawaiian community. But I don't know what's going on, but the Hawaiian community is not stepping up. It is your fault. Why? Because you're not stepping up. You don't have any more warriors anymore. And that's what it's going to take. Because can you go to the beach and heal? Can you? Can you climb back up how do you get back up on the ground?
I see what I got.
You do. Yeah. No, well,
Sorry, gang. Mr. Larson, if we can just please feel free to have discussions outside. I made 3 notes from that: Kiona, Sports, Arkiki, and then Makai Pier. So I really appreciate you sharing. She's dragging you off the stage. Okay, gang, we are beyond time, but I do want to give Councilmember an opportunity to address her report. She sat here through the evening. I do not see Senator Lee or Representative Martin online. I'll just use this opportunity to call them forth if they are. And then from there, we're going to ask for a deferral.
Hey, aloha, I'm going to give
Thanks,
a truncated talking points here. First, we talked about a lot of different plans, but an important plan that I know that the community would be interested in is the city's first ever Oahu Food Systems Plan. And the public feedback is due by June 30th, 2026. So please you can just Google it, but also contact our office and we'll send you the plan. I just wanted to update quickly on the grants and aid. As you know, there were a lot of nonprofits that were awarded. I felt that given the challenges facing our community, that even with our tight budget, we should endeavor to try to increase the overall funding. So most recently, I was able to secure an additional $2 million, which would fund probably 16 more. And fortunately for Waimānalo and Ko'olau we have Kekula Nui o Waimānalo. We'll be able to get funding out of this additional 2 million. Partners of Development Foundation, of course, you know, they're getting cut by federal funding, but there's other sources for them. And the Key Project, of course, been very, very helpful overall, including on invasive species management. Waimānalo Kai is already getting funding, 808 cleanups, Grow Good Hawaii, and Habitat. With regard to the issue of discussion this evening, with regard to Hui Mahiai Aina, if anybody wants to know my role, contact me directly, okay? If you don't know my role, do not speak for me. With regard to the jurisdiction over the property, it was Department of Land and Natural Resources property. It no longer is. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear for all of you. I think that a more productive discussion would be for the people with jurisdiction for title of the land and the developers and people who are up to the processes, whether the executive, whatever you mentioned, emergency proclamation waive certain analyses, are to able to answer your question so you get the facts straight. What I heard tonight is people just talking crosshairs. So just for everyone to be fully informed, that would be most helpful. Because I do agree, despite certain exemptions or duration, do not get bogged down too much. I think people understand the special nature of Waimānalo, the special place of Waimānalo. And as a result, we can encourage that whether something is required or not, that you do it, yeah? For the benefit of the community. So that's all. Again, title was transferred to the Department of Human Services. The lead is in the governor's office, which June and his team is there. It's quite complicated because you have Dwayne Carrizo, who's the developer, and then you have a role of the Department of Community Services, but they don't know all the answers. Yeah, because normally it would have to go through the city's Department of Planning and Permitting. So that's all my recommendation. But again, if anyone wants a direct, want to know directly what Esther Kia Aina has done, you call me or say it to my face, okay? Thank you.
Hello, council member. Thank you so much. Any members online, questions for a council member? Seeing none members present?
Yes, mahalo, Chair. Mahalo, council member. Chair, if I can just make a recommendation that we can extend a question to the governor's office, because I just what very little I know, and I can tell you my experience is this small that it could be relegated to the period after the sentence. If the administration of the TMK is within the state, the LNR still retains the fee. So the title doesn't transfer, only the administration of the TMK. So if we can elevate that for a clarification, because I'm confident that that is in fact the case. Yeah. And I'm not asking for what mahalo, Councilwoman, but I just want clarification because our people deserve it. No, absolutely. 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 So, Chair, mahalo for the opportunity to raise that question, because I believe that's in fact the case, and that's why we should always hold the LNR's feet to the fire. However, we have to understand the separation of roles, right? And the administration of the property and those responsible for the project is not the LNR. Yeah. So any questions that you may have, you got to defer them to the appropriate agency.
Mahalo for that. Canelo, you have a comment? And then we're going to close, gang.
One comment, one question. Thank you so much. So mahalo. In our Pono Olu Olu, this is my neighborhood board hat off. In the Pono Olu Olu PowerPoint, which can be shared on our neighborhood board, you'll see a link. It is the M1 agenda item that shows where BLNR allowed the delegation and authorities for the permits to be given to the Department of Human Services, only permits to
Canelo,
do the
sorry, are
construction.
you speaking on behalf of the board right now?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I took my hat off.
No, I don't. That's not okay. I didn't ask for people to comment unless it's the board members right now. Yeah. So it's not going to be a discussion back and forth about that. Come ready for that discussion with that. Yeah.
Could I ask a question for?
As a board member, yes.
Yes. Okay. So question is, Councilmember Esther, thank you so much. Can you say that you have been 100% legally transparent to the people you represent since being in office?
Yeah, I agree. What is the question regarding?
Sorry.
I mean,
It was a
I want us to
question.
have accountability, but I want us to have respect as well. I just want to understand what.
So it was a question that was asked by a member to ask if council member could say if you have been, I could also, it was the text, so it could also be misread, but it says that you have been 100% legally transparent to the people you represent since being in office.
Yeah.
If that's not clear,
I don't think we're gonna entertain that question. There's definitely opportunities to engage with the council member, and I would forward that feedback to the person originating with the question.
Okay.
If they have concerns about council member, please feel welcome to attach and go and engage with the council member directly. But we're not going to use this body to kind of negate the
Okay.
work of any individual. So,
Thank you.
and respectfully, I would ask them to come forward.
Okay.
I respect that, but have the decency to have the
You-
discussion with
Okay.
council member.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I
if you don't mind.
apologize, Councilmember Esther.
Okay, as we can tell, things can get very emotional and passionate, and we expect it. We are known for it, right? That's Waimānalo. And I want us to make sure that we're clear on the kuleana that we have as a board, the kuleana that we sit on this body with, and all the different kuleana that represent itself in this community. We expect difficult conversations. We expect transparency. We expect Hawaii first. We expect a lot of different things. And this board composition has been a representation of that, as well as the representation of this community. And so when we start to navigate into personal attacks, I want to make sure that the community at large knows that I'm not going to stand for that. We can disagree, and that's fine. We can argue and have discussion, and that's completely fine. When we start to dig into the personal behaviors of individuals, we're going to have to call it quits. And so I just want to make sure that in the difficulties that we all face, we recognize our kuleana to one another. And that's an expectation we have of all of us. And so if you're struggling with that, make that known so we can address it. And tonight was a great example of how we're going to try and work through those things. This body is not intended to be the last on every single conversation. We are simply a way to elevate the community's voice into governance and to bring governance into the community for those who choose to operate within it. If you do not have that kuleana and believe that it is beyond that, no problem. There's still a place for you here to have that conversation. But I want us to be very clear. Yeah. And so I'm going to pause on the conversations we've had tonight. Just mahalo everybody for bringing the discussions forward and continuing to engage. This is systemic work that has to take place. And it's systemic work that takes lifetimes to do. Okay. And so we engage all the time. We want you folks to engage all the time. We're available to everybody all the time. Okay. I'm going to ask us to consider for the board. We have considerable items still left on the board agenda. I'm just going to ask if we can defer those items to next meeting if there's no anybody online or anybody here present that disagrees with that recommendation. Hearing none. We're going to make some announcements real quickly. Just that the next meeting is on Monday, June 8th, 2026. The broadcast schedule for Olelo is on channel 49 on the fourth Monday at 9 p.m. and the first and third Saturdays of the month at 3 p.m. There's always upcoming meetings to be paid attention to: Oahu Historic Preservation Commission, Honolulu Charter Commission, Borderland and Natural Resources meetings. All of these are public spaces where you can voice your concerns, opinions, and mana'o. If you want to. If you want to, involve yourself. The neighborhood board is not kind of the sweep and dustpan for everything. Yeah, we encourage people to get involved on your own as well, and come to us when we can figure out how collectively we can work. Okay. It might have been different in the past, as I was told. I don't represent that. I represent this right now, and I'm responsible for this right now. And so while we acknowledge the historical information, we recognize that in order to holomua, it takes a collective. Okay. I'm going to ask our co-chair to close us off with Pule, and then we are going to close for the evening. Mahalo nui for everybody's participation.
Mahalo kako pule. Pule me kako. Au he oe kia kua nui na anonoi ho huli kalani me ka honua na uno ka mana. Na kini a kua na kupuna na auma kua o ko pō me ke ao. Ke alo nui au ko pakahi a pau. E no mako ako kone me he ohana la I mea e hapai aku na mea pono o kia kai a ulu o Waimānalo. Ia oe kia kua mahalo na ka noho pono ana me mako kia hiahi. A ke kuki ai ana I na kuono e hā o kia lumi. I mea I hiki ke holopono na kukaku ka kama I leo. A no laila, e no mako I ka hopena o ki halawai. E no noi ho aku kia ia oe kia kua nui e hoi aku ia kako paka hea po I ko kako wahi kupono. A no laila, no noi aku kia mamea me ka haa. No noi aku kia mamea me ke aloha me ka mahalo. Me ka mihi, ma ke no kau keiki ako kako kama. O Yesu no, mahalo. Amen.
Mahalo nui kako. With that, we will adjourn at 10 p.m. Mahalo nui kako. Drive safely.